looking forward to seeing how that goes. So, by the way, the TV networks, both Fox and Seven, interviewing players before the toss, after the toss, coming. They're obviously getting more access this year, which is great for everyone. Are you liking what you see from a visual?
I don't mind it. I don't mind it. Yeah. I mean, I played under a coach that would never have allowed it.
Intrusive sometimes?
No, because this is the modern game.
Yeah, okay.
It's about the product.
I like it. Yep. I reckon it's good.
Yep. Robbo, the toss has been won.
It has, and the Sydney Swans are going to the lock-it end. So Josh Kennedy winning the toss for the Sydney Swans, lock-it end.
Well, do you like it, Brian? I mean, you're involved in TV with the...
I like it, but I just think sometimes we might get it wrong, and we're imposing ourselves in an area where it's players' time or it's coaches'
Who's
time.
the best at it at Channel 7?
Who's the best at doing it?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know who's the best at it. It doesn't matter who's the best at it. It's the best time that matters.
Right, okay.
Yep. All right, we get ready here.
Who's the best after the game?
Well, you and Joey go really well in this box. I know that.
Yeah. So Joey Montagna and Nate Brown will have the special comments covered. Two-man with all the Bosch Tool stats. Robbo, from a Bob Jane perspective at ground level, will have it all covered. The self-swatter and this man, BT, the best in the land's going to get the top of the table clash underway. Sydney 2 take on Richmond 1 for McDonald. Triple M rocks footy.
Watch out for Razor Ray. He's out there as well. Matty Stevic to put the ball on the turf in the middle of the ground and get it underway. We go to 1 versus 2. Martin's going to get the first touch. Got a bit of a nudge forward by Hewitt and got the free. So Martin, defensive side of the centre.
Rance has gone to Franklin.
And Martin plays on immediately, steers it out to the broadcast side of the ground. Edwards read the ball better than Florent, although Florent got back to butter it up. Little handball back into Franklin. Ran into the Cochin tackle, was able to get rid of it quickly. Alir with a nice little kick and finds an opportunity with Ronk. And what a discovery he's been this year.
Our revelation, BT, drills the ball to Hayward, broadcast wing.
Good player, this kid.
Yep. Lots of talent. And goes towards half forward. Sinclair over the top, had a good piece of it, had a good sider on it, couldn't take the mark. Jack tries to squeeze the handball. In fact, it might have been Parker. Floston's worried out of it. Ball goes towards the boundary line. Slick handball by the Tigers. Grimes involved. Wobbly ball towards Martin.
Yeah, Alir the spoil there. Sydney got the numbers. Jones found Smith on the run. On the wing, little kick from Smith was perfect. And Sydney are going to get a look from beyond the 50 here. It's Parker.
I like the fact that both this bloke and Hayward can mark the ball above their head and they lead hard and they get on it with that lead.
Parker almost finding McVeigh. Decided to not risk it. So Parker will have to kick it 51 or 52 metres, and that's getting close to the man on the mark. And you can just see in his mind he's uncertain about the journey here. So Parker now from 52, kick on the way, going to be really tight, falls a little bit short, off hands it comes, over the top of Heaney, went back, got it and mopped it up, handball to the Tigers, play on, calls the umpire, a smother in there, little handball, comes out from Ashbury towards Grigg, he's under immediate McVeigh pressure, and McVeigh sees it over the boundary line, but locks it in the forward 50 that is Sydney.
Interestingly, Dusty Martin started centre bounce and has gone forward. Alir is picking him up. So Alir's got the job on Dusty when he's gone forward.
Triple M Seabus super special comments. Joey Montagna, Nathan Brown, no scored, 2 minutes gone. 1v2, Lambert couldn't get a handball. Ball is deep inside Sydney's forward 50. Packer players mill around the ball. It's not coming out. We'll have it thrown up. Camped inside Sydney's forward 50. Buddy off the edge of the pack. Lots of numbers around the ball. No score.
Razor Ray taking far too long to throw it up. Razor, it's not about you, mate. Just get on with it. Tackle here on this occasion by the Tigers. Locks it in the arms and the breadbasket area of Parker. Will ball it up again. Razor comes in and he addresses it. This time he gets on with it quickly. Opportunity Sinclair knocked down there. Edwards goes in. Doesn't come out with the footy though. Play on, calls the umpire. Buddy used the big frame. Got the little handball off. Here comes to Ronk. He had to get rid of it quickly. Hewitt had it. Lost it. Now the ball's hit the deck right in front of the DeWalt signs out there. We'll throw it up again. So still within 20 metres of Sydney's goal. Not much happening. No score here in the first 250 of the game. Ball up. Knocked down again. This time Parker. Little handball went nowhere. Floston was able to get it. Skies one very, very high indeed, but got it out of the immediate danger zone. Off hands in the middle. Rowan went in gingerly. Little kick around the body has been marked by the big fella, and that is Nankervis.
Got it to Cochin. Looped a handball out wide to Short. Did the same. Got it to Grigg. Drops it down the line. Sydney getting numbers back there. Grundy with the spoil. Fall of the ball. Rewalt puts it forward. On the chase is Alir. Gets a nice bit of body shepherd work from Smith. Alir had a little bit of a look. Drop the pill. Tigers get it free. Quick kick round the corner. Caddy bouncing ball. Martin's got his man there right. Now Rampy with him. Rampy steps it out of bounds. And we'll have it tossed in. A little fumble and a fiddle and a faddle by Aliria.
So boundary throw in. Deep inside the Tigers. Forward 50. Nathan Brown and Joey Montagna are looking at this from a tactical point of view. Ruckman here. Looks like it's Sinclair that's nominated with Cochin. So Cochin is going to be the ruckman here for the Tigers, and he decides not to fly with Sinclair. Sinclair double palm down to Jones, gives the handball to McVeigh. Squirting ball out wide from McVeigh is very, very impressive indeed. Finds McCartan. McCartan takes a very nice mark. Geez, got good hands, McCartan. I'm impressed with him. The kick to Franklin, very close to the boundary. It goes over the line, out of bounds. It'll be out of bounds to the full, and it'll be a free kick going the way of Rowan.
And he drives it long and quickly to half forward. Nankervis got back, parked the bus in front of the pack and took a mark.
Not sure why you'd have Cochin going up against the ruckman inside their forward 50. It just gives Sydney an easy out when you want to lock that ball inside your forward 50.
Tigers have it out with Edwards. Robbo quickly.
Couple of things down here, crammed in. The crowd's still coming in, Swatter, and also Steve Hocking having a good look at this game.
So the Swans take the mark, and Smith dropped the ball and opens up the door for Rioli to soccer it inside 50. Grundy on the chase.
Yeah, and fumbles at Grundy, but he's got time to go back and get it. A hurried handball to Sinclair. Sinclair sees McVeigh. McVeigh cool. Slid the handball back inside to Parker. A little fumble. Time to recompose. The kick is long and deep. Up they fly in the air. No winner. Franklin couldn't mark it. Off hands it comes. It's Ronk. Ronk's going to run into the open goal and kick the first for Sydney. Sydney won straight, Richmond yet to score. We've played 5 1/4 minutes on the Triple M IGA scoreboard.
Well, he's got that explosive pace as Ben Ronk, and we saw him there get to the front and square and burst away from Nick Vlossen. He's got a terrific turn of foot. He's a powerful unit. He's been a great find for the Swans this year.
Must be a bit slippery out there, Joe, because 4 Sydney players now have fumbled easy balls that you wouldn't expect them to fumble too often.
Yeah, I think it might be. I wonder whether, as we said, the little bit of fog, the really sort of damp conditions, whether it might just be a little bit of surface dew, which is normally not the case at Etihad Stadium, but maybe might be a little bit there on the ground.
Coldest day in Melbourne in 25 years.
That's
Exactly
it,
right.
Brownie. What's some Triple M Seabus super special comments. Brownie and Joey Montagna. Sydney lead by 6 points. For McDonald's, Triple M rocks footy. Kennedy squeezed the handball to Heaney, couldn't find a target. Martin's kick was stolen off his boot. Tigers have a man down inside the square. Sydney pump it inside 50. Floston went for it, couldn't take it. Heaney got it off to Ronk for 2 in a minute. Ronk. Sydney, a great start. Ronk's got 2 goals inside the last minute of footy. And the Swans have come to down and they're ready to play. 2 straight 12, leading Richmond yet to score. 6.5 gone on the Triple M IGA Liquor scoreboard.
Well, in the big stoppages at the moment, it's Sydney's ability to have one player going in after the footy and then the others ringing the pack. I've noticed that Richmond have had 2, 3, 4 players sometimes going at the same footy, whereas one Sydney player goes in, 3 or 4 sit out, and then they get an easy clearance. And on that occasion, just Ronk was in the right place at the right time again, and he is a very, very good finisher, the young man.
Looking good. Back into the middle we go as we watch the Chemist Warehouse replay. Hello, big hello to Bob Gill and all the boys out there at the factory that are listening and following us on Twitter. Swatter, hello to them as Razor Ray comes back in the middle here to put the ball on the turf and get it underway. Ronk has 2, so does Sydney. Richmond have none. Martin tries to extract out of the middle. A little left foot kick over his shoulder there. Gained about 20. It was intelligent stuff. Getting back, though, to try and get hold of it is Jack. He's immediately confronted. Umpire calls play on. The confrontee was Jack Higgins, and this is what Richmond do so well. Hassle and try and lock it in their forward 50. So they've done that. Down to you, Robbo, on the boundary.
Yeah, BT, you can see the footprints off the rotations. There is a bit of dew on this ground.
Bob Jane T-Marts, I did say that atmospheric conditions are a little heavy here tonight. Kennedy shoved the little handball out of trouble here momentarily. They go towards McCartan, punched away from McCartan on that occasion by Asprey, and the ball goes over the line out of bounds. We'll throw it in right in the interchange gates as 3 Richmond players wait to come on the ground.
8 gone, 12-point lead, Sydney's way. Richmond yet to score. And Curvis off. So it's Sinclair up against Greig. Fall of the ball was Parker. Squeezed the handball out. Got it to Lloyd. He's become a composed defender too. Lloyd goes towards half forward towards McCartan. Good contest. Brought it to ground. Broad will apply some body pressure. Tackling on. Asprey was okay. Is that deliberate? Ray's not having a bar of it, Brownie.
I know Richmond go with small ruckman a fair bit. It has worked for them in the past, Joe. But this guy, Callum Sinclair, he doesn't come off. He does not rest. He just about rucks every centre bounce, every ball in. And if they're going to do that up with Grigg and that, they are going to fall down.
Have a look at this. Grigg versus Rowan, just as you say that. I think that'll be a rarity, though. Soccer off the ground there by Conker. Goes out wide towards Rewalt. Rewalt and Grundy. Grundy just saying, the boundary line's my friend, and I'm going to paddle it that way. But Razorway steams in like little puffing Billy and says it's a free kick to Jack Rewalt. Rewalt at half forward, probably was. Grundy had no intentions of wanting to keep it in. Goes down the line here, searching for Caddy. Had it thumped away. Little handball. Hanbury, Kennedy, fast. Hewitt turned. That meant he had prior opportunity. He'll get pinged here. Razor circling. And boy, he's dramatic. He is dramatic, if nothing else, Razor Ray Chamberlain.
Yep, good call though. Gloston's got it half forward. Richmond in search of their first score. 9:15 play. And Vloston just happy to slow it down. Sydney get a lot of numbers back. Bar Buddy. So Vloston from 55 towards the top of the goal square. They'll converge over the top. That's a big leap over the top by Rampy. Loose ball. Cochin flicks it back. Tigers can't maintain possession. Sydney get numbers there. Edwards is normally clean. Was very centering ball. Top of the goal square. Grundy. Here comes Rewalt. Got it. Grundy engaged. Josh Caddy. And that allowed Rewalt to float up over the top and take an easy uncontested mark.
Smart kick by Butler. Didn't go for the goal from near the boundary. Left foot, top of the square. Didn't know if anybody was there, but he gave his opportunity to his forwards.
Why do you want to kick around the corner from a 45-degree angle 10 metres out?
For 31 goals in the year, he's got it. Tigers get their first goal at the 10-minute mark of the opening term and trail by goal. 1 straight, 2 straight. Sydney lead on the Triple M IGA Liquor scoreboard. Stock up for the footy season at IGA Liquor. Head into igaliquor.com.au to find your nearest store.
Well, Ash, you said that Josh Kennedy's had 30 and had 6 Brownlow votes the last 3 times he's played. He's already up to 6 disposals.
Yeah, Joe, it was an important goal for Richmond because Sydney seemed to have a bit more ball in general play. They're leading contested ball, leading clearances. It was an important passage of play, and Jack Rewalt just slipped Grundy and had a free run and jump at the footy.
You're doing a Carra on Brownie.
Sorry, was
You're doing a Blake Carousella on Brownie, not giving much.
Just with Kennedy as well, touching on Joey's point earlier, his last 3 games post-bye, he's averaged 33 disposals and 6 clearances.
That's what I said.
Yep, see our super special comments tonight coming from everyone in building and construction. Nathan Brown and Joey Montagna in amongst it as well. Robbo downstairs, Bob Jane Teamarts head in for any financial year deals on now. Ball to centre half forward here for Sydney. No win for them, although the tackle almost got them a win. It came out to Sinclair, grabbed it on the dribbler, kick around the corner, but there's a free kick. It'll come back to the between centre half forward and the middle of the ground, and the recipient will be Hanbury.
Was holding the ball against Conker.
Thank you, Brownie. He's all over it. He's just really all over it. Hanbury goes high and deep. Long ball there. Buddy crashing into the back of his opponent. Will get. In fact, it's going the other way. They're saying that Buddy got a bit of a push, are they?
Yeah, Rance pushed Buddy into the Richmond opponent.
And there's a bit of a box on here now with Heaney and Rance as well. So Franklin's got the free. Crowd have just seen the Chemist Warehouse replay and they are not happy.
There was a little bit of a flop from Buddy. If we see it on the Chemist Warehouse replay, he might have just flung himself forward there and Rance didn't like it.
Oh, surely not.
Well, they marked the ball anyway over the back to McVeigh.
So Rance and Franklin, and here's Franklin. 30 metres out, slide angle, got it. They've got 3 straight, Sydney. Richmond have 1 straight. On the Triple M IGA Liquor scoreboard, here's Nathan Brown and Joey Montagna.
Well, I like this battle because they take it personally, I reckon, these two when they play in each other. Remember that game at the MCG a couple of years ago? They got in each other's face. They did it again there. I reckon both of them just flex their muscles to let them know who's the big dog in town.
Is it fair to say they don't like each other?
I reckon. Yeah, I reckon it's fair to say. It is that feel of who's better, the forward or the key defender. It's going to be a great battle. Wasn't much of a free kick in that, so Rance will be a bit disappointed.
Sydney have been a bit tougher in the first. What have we played so far? 12 minutes. I think Sydney have genuinely been tougher around the contest. Contested possessions 22-13 so far. Good better Bosch.
Yep. Bosch power tools and accessories. Nice work, Brownie. Bounce favours Sinclair. Not recalled. Tapped it straight to Cochin for McDonald's Triple M Rocks footy. Captain hacks it inside 50. It's a chaos ball. Bounces in front of a host of players. Lloyd, a deft little tap to Smith. Tries to squeeze a handball off towards his teammate. Smith goes again. Tackled well in the end by a couple of Tigers. Castagna involved in the tackle along with Conker. Ball not coming out, and the Tigers will have it thrown up 45 out from their goal. They trail by 2 goals.
Ball up here, as you say, 45 metres out. Comes to Jones. Quick handball, Grundy. His ball hit the deck for McVeigh. It's a difficult one. Gave Martin just a little chance. Handball back to Edwards. Little left foot kick, not 15 as it lands with Cochin. He tried to con the umpire. Has to play on and didn't get the depth in the kick. He was only 25 out. He was rushed. And he kicked it to a man standing right on the goal line. In the meantime, Sydney respond. Florent goes out very, very wide. Looking for and finding out there was Rose. He's taken the tackle, much to the delight of the Richmond fans who are packed into Etihad Stadium. Boundary throw in on the wing.
Yeah, big crowd.
It was a great contest by Rance. He actually left Buddy Franklin to get that ball. If he hadn't have made that tackle, Franklin had 50 metres of space running towards goal.
Swans by 12 points, 14 gone. Opening term IJ Liquor scoreboard. Umpire throws it in. Parker hunts the ball, got it off to the evergreen McVeigh. Banana kick towards the edge of the square. Lost it with a big fly over the top. Couldn't take it. Sydney keep it moving forward. Cunningham with the tackle. They get it free. Broad chips the ball. Rewalt's got it, but got a push in the back.
Yeah, that's against Grundy. Ball come back, could have almost been 50. Umpire Matt Stevick right there says Jack Rewalt's ball inside the centre square, almost in the middle of the ground. It's slightly favouring one side. Kicks out wide, looking for Rioli. Went through the hands of Florent. Rioli grabbed it. Right foot bending banana. Miracle goal. Big goal from Rioli. Got incredible bend on the na-na. And it was exciting stuff. Richmond 2 straight. Sydney 3 straight. IGA Liquor scoreboard.
Yeah, it was an unbelievable goal. Well called, Brian. Joe Montagna said in the pre-game that he was worried about Heath Grundy. Might be just a step off it this year. Well, he was 2 steps off Rewalt, and the ball hung in the air a bit and then gave away the free kick where he probably didn't need to do it because he was 1 or 2 steps off. So good call from Joey.
And on the Triple M Chemist Warehouse replay, Daniel Rioli, Ollie Florent, Josh dropped the mark. It went through his hands. Rioli on one knee. Took a one-hander. He thought it was touched, so he got up straight away and kicked the banana. And, geez, he's got some talent, this kid.
On the Triple M Chemist Warehouse replay screen, it was an extraordinary goal.
And when the confidence grows with a kid like that, anything's possible, isn't it?
Absolutely.
So a 6-point ball game for McDonald's. Triple M Rocks footy. Sydney lead. Kennedy got it again. Gave a handball off. Sydney through heavy traffic and eventually comes to Hanbury. He's collected with a big bump. Mark, no. Free kick, no. Nothing coming for Rose. Hanbury slow to get up. It's a tough game of footy. Hard physical football between the Tigers and the Swans. Parker's back up. We'll have it thrown up into the square out of side.
Young Rose hasn't played AFL footy for a fair while, probably over a year now, and Rance has decked him out on the other side. He had a big hit at centre half forward there. He's going to know he's playing AFL footy tonight.
Goal the difference here. Free kick Sydney. Half forward line here. Hewitt got the footy. Point of the square, goes out wide, searching for the lead there. Sinclair almost gloved it. Franklin there as well, but on the ground beating them all was Conker. He got tackled high initially, and Razor Ray, sharp as a fox, found out that as well, and so the advantage is not paid here to Dion Preston. Lying on the ground here. Trainer's come out. He looks almost in a paralysed state here, Conker.
He's holding his knee, his ankle.
Oh, look at his foot. Look at his ankle.
Yeah.
Broken.
Oh,
He's got a broken ankle. It's pointing in the wrong direction. If you don't mind, it's completely accidental. Got caught under Buddy's back in the twisting tackle, and he has got a broken ankle. Buddy Franklin realises that, and he knows this is going to be a long time, so he immediately calls Sydney in. And who was the player? Is it Short?
No,
Conker, sorry. Reece Conker has got the injury.
We could see the break out of the corner of his ankle, out the sock there, because his boot was sort of half hanging off. That was awful stuff.
Down to you, Robbo.
Yeah, Trent Conchin off as well. So the skipper off, limping left side. So I think he's got a bit of an ankle problem, BT. Just trying to work it out. He limped off badly, but Conker's the one. He's in a real mess.
Not any medical attention for Cochin, so he'll be back out there in a flash. But this is going to take a while. Conker, so it looks like broken ankle, snapped ankle, call it what you want. That's going to be a big issue for the rest of the year for him, no matter what. Do you think it's a broken leg more than...
No, it looks to be the ankle. As we have a look at the bump involving Cochin on the Triple M Chemist Warehouse replay and Dan Hanbury, that's fair. Not sure what's happened.
Maybe it looks like his left knee. Might have got whacked inside of his left knee, so maybe a little bit of medial damage, or just maybe a whack to the inside of his knee.
So he'd be hoping that that's a contact injury.
Yeah.
So just going back to Reece Conker, BT, Joey picked it up. It's the left ankle. It's just not set in its normal position, and he's in a lot of pain.
So the stretcher hasn't arrived out there yet, which is Well, it's finally making its way out now. Long
And
time
actually,
to get the
BT,
stretcher.
David Asprey is not with his teammates. He's consoling Reece Conker.
Right.
He's hunched down over him. Obviously, Reece Conker, a lot of pain, very upset. But David Asprey's over there trying to support his teammate as best he can.
Here comes the Medicart.
And I reckon this is definitely a deliberate situation where the Richmond players, they're refusing to look over in that direction, knowing that they really don't want to see it. It's just, it's one of those things you don't want to see at all. So
And he's done well, Conker, to get back into this side. He was out injury for a long, long time. Probably played a fair amount of reserves football. Probably playing the best football he has in his career, Reece Conker. 100th game too, which is...
Yeah. And these things can sort of... Like, you get one injury, Swatter,
Yep.
and then you get another and another.
Yep.
It can just keep going, and it can ruin
We
the
hope
season.
that doesn't happen.
I hope it doesn't happen with the Tigers, but it could.
To follow on from Browning's point, he's played 13 games this year, and the previous 3 years he'd played a total of 15. So he had a really shocking run for 3 years, finally become cemented in a regular spot, and now, unfortunately, this injury will set him back
So, Joey,
fair bit of footy.
Has this come at a good time, though, Swatter, for the Tigers, given that Sydney were, as you say, playing the more
Well, I don't
physical
think an
ball?
injury like this ever comes at a good
No, but
time.
I don't necessarily mean the injury, I mean the break. So it's almost like a timeout in basketball.
Sydney have been playing okay, so I would imagine they'd be happy just for the game to continue. Joey, from a listener's point of view, when teams come in and have a huddle, what's the conversation? What are you saying to each other?
Yeah, it's more talking about what's happened in the first 10 minutes, what's the state of the game situation. There might be a player that would maybe address it and say, okay, look, we know that Reece is out. We're all going to feel for him. As harsh as it is,
It's out of your control.
It's out of your control. For the next 2 hours, let's worry about this game of footy. We can speak to Reece after the game. You might switch a few players on. You've just got to make sure you stay focused. A few of the leaders might chat to a few of the younger players and explain, okay, get your head back into the game soon. And they just now take a breath. There won't be a lot of words after a minute or so. They'll just all be getting their breath back.
Just saw the Triple M Chemist Warehouse replace Green Brian, and he's just about to get the green puffer. So in about a minute's time, he'll feel really, really good, because I didn't get the green puffer till I was well under the stadium.
No,
so
I told them
when
not
you
to
saw
give it to
me
you.
coming off stoically, that was no green puffer. That was just stoicism.
I was there with you, Brownie, in the rooms, and I was saying, don't give it to him, just make him suffer a little bit more. So all of the Richmond team going over to him now that he's laid on the little St John's ambulance, which, by the way, took far too long to get out there. So did the stretcher. Players gather round, they give him the high five, he's sucking on the green whistle, he's ready to go. Sports science junkies down on the bench going mad, saying, gee, we've had a good break here. Now, do we have to rest them as often for the remainder of the quarter? It's completely thrown them into chaos as well, and he's sucking the absolute crap out of the whistle. It's Conker. He's really going... giving it a real good sucking.
You feel really good.
Yeah. So,
I was taking phone calls in the ambulance. That's how good I felt.
I think you did an interview with us on Triple M Football, if I remember right.
You did? You were the first one down there.
I was, because I wasn't worried about you. It was just the story. It was a great story. So he gets carted off now. He'll go straight down to the rooms here. Game's been held up quite a while. Surprised how long they took to get the initial stretcher out there. But anyway, good game. Great, intense game of footy. Sydney doing well. 3 straight 18, leading the Tigers 2 straight 12. Conker zooming off the ground.
What's the doctor holding his neck for?
Just to
Broken
support it. Because the St John's ambulance man does a right hand, very sudden turn. He might roll off. That would be rather uncomfortable. So he just goes down, and there you go. Yeah.
We're all laughing. Let's have a look at all the other boxes. They're still in shock.
There were some boxes looking over at us, wondering why we're laughing when the poor fella's getting taken off on a stretcher.
He feels good right now.
That green sucker.
So the Tigers to move it from half back. It was Prestia drives it towards the outer wing. Sinclair throws a boot at it. Goes over the top of Brandon Ellis. Getting there. Slick handball. Ronk tried to get it to Rose. Rowan tried to get in the way of Vlosten. Tigers get it free. Clearing ball hurriedly towards the outer wing.
And they come back through the middle of the ground here. Little mark taken in the middle by Rewalt. Rewalt goes wide. Alias come off his man. He's trying to intercept this ball on the ground, but it beats him over the line and out of bounds. Down to you, Robbo. A lot happening on the bench with Cochin still.
Absolutely, and the doctor's having a good chat. It was a knee knock and a left side, and it gave him time to actually compose himself. He's been running up and down. He's okay to go, BT.
Bob Jane T-Barts, Mickey Roberts downstairs. Little handball comes out in the McVeigh direction. Been okay so far, Ash.
Yeah, McVeigh, 4 touches.
Got it to Parker. High ball, centre wing. Good mark taken here by Floston. Centre wing, City side of the ground, and 50. So this should bring him. They've been short on 50s in recent weeks. This should bring him right up to the 50 line. Should almost be right on it. And about a half a metre short. So Floston is going, give me 2 more metres, please. And the umpire's saying no. Caddy lurking around the back. And Floston saying no, I'm going to have a crack at this. We'll have to kick at 55. Gets plenty of momentum in the run-up. Penetrating, long ball, goal! What a lifter for the Tigers. They draw level. 3 straight apiece on the IGA Liquor scoreboard.
Well, he knew he had the journey then, Brian, because he had a sighter from about 55 not that long ago and put it right to the teeth of goal. On that occasion, he just got a bit of an arc and put his boot into it. That 50-metre penalty, that rule needs to change, because the penalty that gets charged on the back of someone being somewhere near the area is a ridiculous rule, and that punishment doesn't fit what happened.
I agree, Brandy. It happens probably 8 to 10 times a game. The umpires pluck out 1 or 2 or 3 a game, and if we could see on the Triple M Chemist Warehouse replays, hopefully we do, Tom McCartan actually was trying to do the right thing and get out of the area. If we watch it here, he was running to go to his man, and he didn't have any time. He was in the contest, and he's being pinged. I think that was a ridiculous call by the umpire.
Robbo.
I'm just looking at Trent Cotchin down in the race. He's actually getting prepared. He's having the left knee heavily strapped. So left knee heavily strapped, Cotchin in the race.
All right, good work for Bob Jane teammates. 18 points apiece. Edwards, very clean, very evasive. Did he get a handle away? Kennedy, what's he had?
8 touches.
Got it towards his teammate Hanbury. Flicked it towards Hayward. Hot handball. Parker under pressure. They forced the turnover. Nice sidestep. Graham.
Goes long and deep, but he goes to a 2-on-1 Sydney's way, and it's going to be the easiest of marks over the back. A good leap it was in the end by Rampy. Dishes to Cunningham. Cunningham to McVeigh. McVeigh got hold of the footy in the back pocket. Just Leslie, a couple of bounces out of defence. 1 in fact. Now the long kick towards the outside wing. Franklin flies. Couldn't mark it. Nankervis there at the back. Asprey to clean up to Floston. Floston got the little handball there further afield to Greg, who was worried about the contact that was coming out at him a million miles an hour. You've got to know it's going to be in there, and we'll have the ball up centre wing.
Still 8 minutes to go the opening term. 3 straight 18 apiece. Tigers and the Swans. And Conker with a left ankle, which looked to be very broken. So the Tigers are 1 man down. Cotchin's still waiting to come back on. Good tackle by Parker after the throw up. Ball spills free. Not sure what prior opportunity that Prestia had. But a free kick will go to Parker on the outer wing. So the Swans to the Lockett end. Parker's Bosch tools.
Luke Parker, leading ball winner with 10.
Heads to Sinclair, having a year. Got his hands on it, couldn't take the mark, out of bounds, throwing.
3 straight apiece here. 26-minute mark of the first quarter.
That won the Triple M Chemist Warehouse replay. That holding the ball against Presti was ridiculous. He won the ball from the stoppage, tackled straight away, had no chance to get rid of it.
Pick up the McOz lunch deal for just $5 at Macca's between 10:30am and 2pm. McDonald's Triple M rocking first quarter football here at Etihad Stadium. The ground, it's one of those typical Friday nights like at the MCG where it fills late and people come from nowhere, and all of a sudden we've got a crowd in excess of 40,000, I would have thought, here at the moment. Ash Dewar, as the ball comes to ground here. Short got the kick around the footy. Might have been Lambert, in fact it was. Knocked on here by Rewalt, out towards the boundary line, spinning pirouette, little kick downfield further. Alir is there, kept alive. Rioli with a knockback over his head, and then the deliberate rush behind, but okay as far as Rampy is concerned.
Yep.
And they led it by a point here, the Tigers, 19-18.
So Smith to bring it back in for Sydney. Coventry in. It'll be a long quarter with the Conker injury. 7:15 still to play the opening term. Darting ball from Hanbury. Just off the ball a bit, Dan the man. Goes out of bounds on the full. So Grimes to bring it back in. Robbo, quickly.
Yeah, Cotchin's strapping, heavily strapped on the outside, the lateral side of the left knee. Prepared to come back on though, Swatter.
All right, so Asprey takes the short mark inside 50 and drops it long and deep. Alir over the top, couldn't take it. Quick handball came out from Higgins. Got it towards Castagna. Wrapped up by Cunningham. Caddy breaks the tackle, gives the handball off to Prestia. Kick is partly smothered by Rose. Loose ball, Kennedy outstanding.
Little handball comes out wide to Rose. Beautiful left foot back inside. Franklin took a little time to get into it, didn't in the end. Handball comes here. It came from McCartan. Sent an opportunity here as Ronk just kicks to an open forward 50. He's not going to get the journey, so the ball pulls up short. Rance will arrive. No, he won't. So it was well placed. It beat him over the line. Could not have been placed more perfectly. Rance saying it was deliberate. Ronk really, he couldn't kick that fast, so it's a bit hard to ping him.
He still had Buddy running on side of him. He could have handballed at the Buddy and then fed back after that. I think he just rushed the kick there, Ronk. He was running too quick, the little man.
Tigers by a point here. Boundary thrown in their forward pocket. Nankervis working the ball forward here. Prestia there holding up at the tackle. Nankervis helping. Umpire circling. Robert Finlay.
He had a shot from 90, Brian.
Yeah.
Ronk.
So the ball is thrown back up. Sydney
90.
get it free. Buddy was looking to bang into some bodies with the ball and drop the agate. Tigers get it free. Lambert caresses a left foot chipping ball. Pitches in front of Martin, bounces out of bounds and will have it thrown in. Robbo, Cochin update.
He's on the boundary, Swatter ready to go, but heavily strapped.
Been off for a long time, Robbo.
And he was proper, he was sore. So left side, and it's the outer side, the lateral side of the left knee.
Tigers by a point. McVeigh, gang tackled by a couple, including Caddy. Ball not coming out, we'll have a tossed up.
Martin quiet, just the 3 disposals so far.
6 minutes to go. Still plenty of time, Ash, who have been the stats winners for Bosch Tools.
Yeah, Kennedy and Parker, 10 disposals each. Rewald, he's a leading ball winner for the Tigers, 7 along with a major.
Yeah, that surprises me. Here's Kennedy, he's giving him a run for his money. Didn't get a possession there. Little kick comes out of the pack. Floston went and got it. Was tackled immediately. Had to get rid of it very, very quickly. Now Asprey took him on. This could be an interesting decision. Matt Stevic says it was pinned. No prior. It's 45 metres from Sydney's goal here. They trail by a point as we reach the 29th minute. Umpire Stevic balls it up, and Curvis doing the ruck work, tries to charge out with the footy. Kennedy there, gave it to McVeigh. McVeigh, a little kick over the shoulder, and it's marked by McCartan. Now, he's only 35 metres out, but he is actually on the boundary line here, McCartan. McCartan sends it to an open goal square. It goes across the front, minor score. Scores level, 19 points apiece on the Triple M IGA scoreboard.
Ash, you able to tell us how long Cochin and Alice have been off
Come
the
back
bench
to you, Brownie. Risky kick. Parker forced the turnover, Sydney. Hewitt can't break the tackle. Lambert hurriedly drops it towards Edwards with Smith. Edwards did well. Shake, shimmied, dodged, weave, then a bad handball. Smith intercepts Sydney on the rebound. Towards Hayward.
Yeah, Hayward from the middle of the ground just mongrels it inside 50. Horrible, horrible kick it was. Now under real pressure here is Grimes. Paddles it out towards the boundary line. Got it there to Broad, I think it was. Little kick around the body. Comes in here in the Hewitt direction. Speeding through the Tigers here. They've got the footy. Little kick comes to Edwards. Edwards at half forward's got outside runners. He goes to one of those. An opportunity here for the Tigers. Poor kick there by Graham. And he's turned it over and given it straight to Rampy.
Yeah, bouncing ball to Hewitt. Didn't see his man Butler come on the ground, wrapped him up, took him down. He's gone. And away goes Butler. Runs the boundary line. Got away from Lloyd, but the umpire said he was out of bounds. I'm not sure about that. He was out. The ball wasn't, though.
He was out. 13 minutes. Cochin was on the bench for.
Righto, very good as we have a look at the tackle of Butler onto Hewitt on the Triple M Chemist Warehouse replay screen. Chemist Warehouse, the real house of fragrances, 19 points apiece with 4.5 to play.
I agree. I think he was out. Triple M Chemist Warehouse replay screen showing that beyond doubt.
He was nearly in the first row.
Yeah, boundary throw in here. Caddy, little handball. Comes back to Graham. Here's Martin. Sidestepping at will. Little handball backwards. Handball goes to Ellis. Brandon Ellis, the boy out of the Calder Cannons Footy Factory. Long, deep ball. Off hands. Things happen when you go long and deep. Lambert, left foot snap at goal. Butler, right on the goal line. Keeps it in the field of play. Needs some help. No one coming. Jones there with him of Sydney. Little one to McVeigh.
Held on to Brian. Free kick to Butler.
Razor Ray is all there. And now the free kick is given between the goal post and the point post, right on the line. So it's a very, very severe angle as we watch the Chemist Warehouse replay. So Butler, this favours the right boot of Butler. He's in the right pocket for a right footer. Razor Ray sets himself. Butler points to the middle of the ground. He's got to run straight towards the middle and try and snap it back. He does that now. Players converge. Goal. Richmond have got 4 in the first. 4-1-25, Sydney 3-1-19. Triple M IGA scoreboard. We've got another problem. Robbo down on the bench.
Yeah, Graham, a bit of a stinger. They're looking at his wrist, left wrist. And also Cochin, really interesting to see how he ran onto the ground. He's limping. He's favouring that left knee, BT.
Well, it has been a red-hot game so far. It's been high contest, high pressure, but Richmond have steadied after the Conker injury. They've had 6 of the last 8 inside 50s. They've got a bit of ball going their way. and got the response there from Butler.
If you reckon the doctors in our game aren't under pressure, so they've got a guy down in the rooms with a broken ankle. They've got Cochin, one of the stars of the competition. Do we play him or don't we play him? What does it do to the injury going forward? And now they've got another player with an elbow injury.
All
Three in a row to
with the Channel
Richmond.
7 cameras right on the doctor assessing the elbow.
Three in a row to Richmond. Lead by 6 points. 4 of the last 5 to the Tigers. One man down, couple of men injured. Parker for McDonald's. Triple M Rocks footy. Hacks it to half forward. Nice hands, McCartan. Strong grab from the kid.
He's good.
He is very good and clean. Just punches the ball towards Buddy. He's got a couple to beat over the top. Gloston left his man. Gave Rand support. Slaps it out of defensive 50. Got it towards Jack, who rides the bump. Tried to give a handball off, but Butler intercepts.
Yeah, he did. Got the handball to Cochin. We get a bit of a look at him. He looked okay. What a little chiseler that was. Beautiful foot pass to Rewalt. Hit him in the breadbasket. Long handball here to Prestia. Prestia's kick ordinary. And Alir marks the ball. Unlike Alir, you normally just call his surname. A lot go both. Handball comes from Lloyd to Cunningham and Cunningham to Jones.
Yep, got around Nankervis, got around Edwards, darts away with an evasive run, spears the ball towards the outer wing. Vlosten in front, liked his game, coming through. Tigers outnumbered by Lloyd, got there late. Kennedy rides the bumper. Vlosten trying to come through. McCartan can't muscle the ball towards his teammate Florent. Kennedy again, what's he had, Ash?
He's had 12 touches.
They get it free to Parker, gives a handball off to Hanbury. Where's his man? He's got one man, but he picked out Rance.
And Rance takes the mark at centre-half back, immediately swivels on one boot, goes out wide and finds Ellis. Ellis wants to keep going. Little chip ball here to Prestia. Prestia thought about the handball over the top and actually did it. It was good play. All of a sudden the Tigers are on the wing now. An opportunity here for a Lambert. Couple of bounces. Feeds the ball to the speedy Rioli. Went for a bit of a Piakaroon Hollywood style kick back inside. Didn't get to Grigg on the full. Got him on the bounce. Grigg kicked top of the square off hands. Caddy into the open goal. With the banana. Got it. Saluting the crowd before the goal was even given by the umpire. What about that? Richmond 5-1-31, Sydney 3-1-19, IGA Liquor scoreboard.
Well, since the injury to Conker, Richmond have steadied. It was 22 contested footy to 13 in the first half of the quarter. Since then, it's been 20-11 in Richmond's favour. It swung around and they used the ball really calmly here. They were on the run. Lambert knew he had a player behind him, was Hanbury, so he knew he had him for pace. So ran his full 15 and then handballed it off to Rioli, which then gave Rioli that 15 metres of space. They thought their way through it, and in the end, the goal kick by Caddy was good. I don't think there's a player in the competition who kicks more goals from the goal square than Josh Caddy. He's taken over from Josh Jenkins.
It's their third goal out of 5 from the goal square. Just their style of footy. They scramble, they keep the ball alive, they're dangerous, bit of chaos footy. Now they've got away.
Tigers by 12, kicked the last 4, Robbo.
Only 2 on the bench because Graham has now gone down to have that left elbow strapped. It's not a stinger. He's in a lot of pain, so they'll have to strap that. Also, we know that Cochin is limping around with that left knee, outer side lateral ligament, and Reece Conker, broken ankle.
All right, good work, Robbo. Bob Jane Teamarts. Bob Jane Teamarts heading for the end of financial year deals on now. Umpire throws it up. Sydney have conceded the last 4. Lambert getting busy. Gives the handball off to his teammate. Jaden Short flicks it over the top. Grigg, Cochin, left foot, high ball towards half forward. Goes towards Rewalt! Had Alir, put one juke out and took a great mark.
Well, Sydney, because they'd had the last 4 goals kicked against them, put the extra player back in defence. But it was Zach Jones. Normally they have
handball off, Handball off Joey Rewalt, got it to Short, driving high, long and strong. 5 in a row to the Tigers. They've counter-punched and then clubbed a couple on Sydney's chin. 6-1-37 to 3-1-19, 36.5 gone opening term, Triple MIJ Liquor scoreboard.
Yeah, sorry, Schwad, I was just saying that Alir and Jack Rewalt were in that one-on-one. Even though Zach Jones was a spare player in defence, he's not one that's typically going to fly and come third man up, so he stayed down, which allowed Jack to win that contest, and gee, it's been a good response by the champs.
I reckon we've got another injury down there. We might get down to Robbo because Josh Caddy did something in the middle of the ground, Robbo.
Yeah, it's left side. It's on the hip. He's been hit on the hip. So really Richmond are down to 1 rotation on the bench. 1 rotation. Graham's actually just come back, heavily strapped left elbow.
Sydney is second in defence, but the Tigers have posted their best first quarter of the year so far, 6-1-37.
They are flying as 2-man, and we've still got a minute and 5 seconds to go here after a really impressive opening by Sydney where they kicked 3 of the first 4. But injuries, they've had basically 4 issues in the last 10 or 15 minutes of this game, the Tigers. Medical staff worked overtime down there. Richmond tried to extract out of the middle. Edwards put in the claw, couldn't get it. Here's Nathan Brown.
We spoke about Sydney's pace before the game and the fact that they're a fast side. Right now, they're not getting their better players with pace. Gary Rowan's only touched it twice. Isaac Heaney's only touched it twice. They've got no speed at the moment.
Triple M IGA Liquor scoreboard. Stock up on footy season IGA Liquor. Head to igaliquor.com.au to find your nearest store. As the players hover around the footy, we have a ball up in the centre square here. It's a 2-goal ball game at the moment, or just over.
Robbo, caddy, not good.
Not good, in a lot of pain, still hovering around. He's sat down now. It's a left hip. Heavy knock on the left hip for caddy.
Tigers have got themselves going.
A 3-goal game, not 2-goal game,
Yep,
as I said.
they've kicked 4 in a row, the Tigers. Jones steps out of bounds. Now we'll have it tossed in right half forward flank. 6-1-37, 3-1-19. Sydney led by 12 points at the 12-minute mark. Then the injury and the long delay because of the Conker injury. Since then, goals to Rioli, Butler, Caddy and Short, as BT said. Tigers leading by 3 goals.
Yeah, 18 points it is. Boundary throw in right near the interchange here. Coaches are ready to come on the ground. Edwards, a lightning handball out the back door to Graham, who just kicks it long and high. Big pack forms. Rewalt stayed down. Many others went up. Ball hits the deck. Little one out the back. Lloyd spun as he kicked the footy. Florin had trouble picking it up. He's pursued by Lambert. Richmond get it here as a result of that pressure. Comes back here. Little one there to Castagna. His ball was smothered off the boot. Play on calls the umpires. It ricochets out towards half forward for the Tigers. We've got about 5 seconds left as McCartan gets it. Dynamic first quarter of football, as you'd expect. First, second. Little bit of a Barney here. Alex Rance in amongst that. Grimes there as well. Richmond are floating at the moment. Sydney just wondering what all that first quarter was about after the first 10 minutes of the game. Even Giuseppe Mimone's the first out there, and he's just the property steward. 6-1-37 Richmond, Sydney 3-1-19 on the IGA Liquor scoreboard. For McDonald's, Triple M rocks football. Quarter time here at Etihad Stadium, an 18-point Tigers lead, 6-1-37 to Sydney 3-1-19. Ash Stewart's got all the Bosch Tool stats. Ash, what do you got for us?
Rewald, he's the number 1 ranked player for the Tigers. 9 disposals, 4 marks, 1 major.
Big injury quarter, as big as I've seen this year, down to Robbo, down there for Bob Jane T-Marks.
And fantastic, the Richmond are 6-1 to Sydney 3-1, and they've got 4 big injuries. We've got Reece Conker, broken ankle, gone. Unbelievable pain that he was going through. The skipper, Cochin, left knee, strapping, lateral side. He's hobbling around. Jack Graham, we thought he had a stinger, but I reckon he hyperextended it. So heavy strapping on the left elbow. And Josh Caddy, now in the rooms, I reckon having a jab. He was pale. He was white in the face. That's pain to me. So they'll have a real look at the fleshy bit of the left hip.
Cbus Super special comments. Cbus Super for everyone in building and construction. Here is Nathan Brown and Joey Montagna.
Well, they started really well, Sydney, Joey, but Richmond, after that, halfway through that first quarter, started to get on top of the contested footy, and they started to use the ball a bit better. I thought Sydney's entries were all long. They got Sinclair down there, they got Franklin down there, but they just bombed the ball in time and time again. Whereas Richmond sort of thought their way through it and placed the ball a little bit better inside forward 50. They both had good looks at it. I just thought Richmond used the ball a little bit better, and their pace was down. They only had Gary Owen touch it twice. Also, Isaac Heaney only touched it twice. They're their 2 burst players who give them a little bit of a leg up, and they would not exist in that first quarter.
All right. I think, is there a player missing down on the bench too, Robbo?
Yeah, Josh Caddy, he's gone down into the rooms. He's in the medical centre right now, right down in the rooms, having, I reckon, a jab, BT, because he cannot sit down. Really fleshy bit.
Here he is now.
Yeah, he's just back now. I reckon they've helped him there.
Yeah, I reckon you're right. I reckon he's got a little bit of a jab there as well. We're ready to go second quarter. It is at the moment an 18-point Richmond lead over Sydney.
Bit of jungle juice, Brian.
Yep, bit of juice in there, Brownie.
18-point lead. Tigers start the second quarter. Tigers to kick to the locket end. The McDonald's Triple M rocks footy. Nice bounce. Nankervis against Sinclair. Nankervis got it down, follows up his work. Martin couldn't get boot to ball. Sinclair got boot to ball, but there's a free kick going back Kennedy's way. Had a good first quarter, Chu.
He did 12 touches for Bosch Tools.
Leading possession winner on the ground.
Luke Parker with 13.
All right, there we go. Kennedy smack bang in the middle of the square. Sydney trailing by 3 goals. It's a high ball. Here comes McCartan. Ball carries the pack. Falls into the path of Vlauston. Had a good term himself. Grimes just a flicking handball over the top towards Rance. Fires it down along the line towards Grigg. Can he keep it in? No. Ball goes out of bounds. And we'll have it thrown in.
Jack Graham with that sore elbow has gone down to full forward, so he's got Rampy at full forward. Wonder if that'll affect his performance tonight with that elbow heavily strapped.
Cbus Super special comments. Joey Montagna on Triple M football on a Thursday night. Big crowd into this stadium tonight as well. It's built as the game has gone on. Cochin. The game hasn't let the 40,000 plus down, that is for sure. Clear to see these two sides are the best in the comp at the moment. Umpire Robert Finlay balling it up. Sinclair knocks it down in the path of Edwards. Couldn't get it. Hanbury did. Little handball, no hoper. Asprey partly smothered by Kennedy. Kennedy driven forward in the tackle by Nankervis. Umpire said incorrect disposal. Free will go to Nankervis actually. So Nankervis basically in the back pocket. Last line of defence anyway. More centrally located than the back pocket probably. But he kicks out towards the half-back flank. Nearing the boundary line, up they fly. Castagna flew, couldn't hold the mark. Quick to get up back, up on his feet though. Little kick out of the pack here, comes in the direction of the Tigers. Martin couldn't get it. Sinclair did go and get it. Handball let it go. Prestia funneled it out the back door, the human meatball. Got it to Grimes. Grimes goes long and deep up there towards half forward. Bit of a battle on in the air. Umpire calls play on. Now he pays a free kick and it'll go the way of the Tigers here at half forward.
No, can it go to Sydney against Paul Rampy?
Yep.
Razor Ray was 80 metres away.
And he just loves to confuse everyone. And gee, I reckon the other umpires would look at that and go, mate, don't keep coming over the top of me, because he does it a lot.
Jones has got the ball, takes the mark, gives the handball to the runner in. Lloyd on the stretch. Heaney, got to be a free kick. He was hit unfairly by Grimes. He's a very good player, this young boy. Sydney trailed by 18, conceded the last 5 goals of the game. McVeigh just bounces the ball to Florent, gathered it, wheeled around. Have they got a man in front? They do. They've got 2, but they dropped the pill. Might have been Parker who dropped the agate. Richmond to reload, comes to Ellis, left foot chipping ball is okay, got it to Higgins.
That is a good kick under pressure.
Daniel Hanbury is a very good player, but gee, he's down on confidence at the moment. Every time he goes near the ball, he either makes a mistake or doesn't attack it the way we're used to him doing it.
Oh boy, what about that? Graham just put up the hands and had a bit of a look out the eyes out the back of his skull just to see who's arriving. Oh boy, and he comes straight off the bench and put it right in front of everyone that could sort of see. Gee. It'll be a Jones free here. This is Zach from Sydney, right on the wing. Kicks up towards half-forward. Big pack of players. Rose was there. Couldn't get away with it as Ellis had hold of him. Ball now in dispute. A lot of players around the footy. 55 out from Sydney's goal and will ball it up. It's 19 to Sydney, 37 to Richmond on the Ream scoreboard.
Last Sydney goal, 12-minute mark of the opening term. It went for 38 and a half minutes because Conker went off on the motorised cart. So Hanbury got a handball to a Florent, was over the top of him, had to reach back. They sweat on Kennedy, got a handball along the ground. That's high contact against Martin, and then just give Sinclair a bit more.
Face plant.
Yep, a little bit of a massaging on top of the back of the bond. So Sydney trailed by 18 points. Almost 4 gone second term.
Cochin comes off again. The ball goes forward to the lead of Franklin, and Franklin marks. Now he's only 3 metres inside the boundary line. He's only kicked 1. I say only 1. He's been okay, but this one's going to suit his left foot. Left foot into the goal. So he's going to have to kick it 49. Franklin out wide. 10 seconds left in his approach period. Gets towards the 50, then goes out on that arc and nails it. Beautiful kick. Comes back just nicely, so he's got a couple. Sydney really desperately needed that one as Jack Rewalt chats with the umpire. 6-1-37 Richmond, Sydney 4-1-25 on the Triple M Ream scoreboard.
Well, what you saw was the vision behind the goals, and Franklin led, and nobody really went through it with him because they set up their zone. So Rance stood there and he thought that there's so many players ahead of me, he's got nowhere to lead. But then I reckon the rest of his players let him down because holes just opened up over here on the forward flank to lead into, and Rance was sitting there with his hands in the air going, boys, why aren't we there? We've got a zone defence for a reason.
2 goals to Buddy as we have a look at his second on the Triple M Chemist Warehouse replay screen. Chemist Warehouse, the real house of fragrances. Joe Montagna, Nate Brown in the back row doing a very nice job for Triple M Seabus Super Special comments. So a 12-point margin Tigers' way for McDonald's. Triple M Rocks footy. Sinclair and Nankervis. Graham with his left elbow heavily strapped. He's taken the ground by Kennedy. Ray charges in. And we'll have it thrown up again.
Just to give you an idea of the tackles, there's normally 65 tackles in a half of football. We've already had 67 tackles. We just started the second quarter.
No surprises there, Joey. So Cunningham with Edwards. Cunningham goes to ground. Parker puts his head over the prune. Can't get it free. Caddy's had some work in the change rooms. Handball goes nowhere. Edwards over the top.
Rewalt, little slipper, didn't really make great contact. McVeigh got fast handballs, Cunningham involved as well. So out of the pack they come here. I think that might have been Lloyd. Goes long, Rose punched away there from Broad. Back of the pack was Brandon Ellis, got it to Broad. Had to wait for Floston to get back in the field of play, then give the handball. Floston goes long without a lot of thought. Grundy running back, been a bit fumbly. Grundy here, got the handball off to Kennedy. That was better for him though. Kennedy goes back to Lloyd, and then Grundy as well. Grundy going way back to Smith. They lose ground and it goes over the line out of bounds in the forward pocket for Richmond, just where they wanted it. 37-25 Tigers.
The great part about this game, Joey, is you talk about the tackles and how many there is, and it has been a defensive game, but it's also been a great attacking game. There's been 62 points scored so far, which is well above the average for this time of game.
6.5 minutes into the second term. Tigers by 12. Heaney from the throw-in. High ball floats towards Hayward with Floston. Tigers have numbers. Fall of the ball. Graham couldn't take it cleanly. Ronk, handball. McCart knew a tackle was coming. Took the tackle. Ball bounced free. Hayward showed lots of candy. Left foot wobbling ball towards Rose.
Yeah.
Oh, well done, Broad.
Yeah, he got there, got a fist to it, and then Grigg came in and really almost kicked Rose in the ankles. He attempted to kick the footy here. Rose got it out to Florent. Florent speeds away from Grigg. Took a bounce right in his face and then hammered the little low ball to kick his first goal. Florent kicks the goal. Speed superior. 6-1-37. To Sydney, 5-1-31 on the Ream scoreboard.
Well, he's really come into rising star calculations, this kid. He's had a super 6 or 8 weeks. And what about the confidence? Most young players would see Buddy Franklin leading Adam Brownie and just think, I've got to kick it to him. But no, he backed his pace in. He tucked the ball under his arm. He took a bounce. He broke away from Sean Grigg, no worries. And then he had the composure to slow down his last step, which was important for the finish.
You might remember earlier on in the year, I think it was at this venue where he kicked the winning goal, where they all wanted him to stop and kick the ball backwards. He thought, nah, I'm going to play on, I'm going to back my own ability.
Instinct.
And he kicked the winner.
2 in a row to Sydney to start the second term.
What game was that, Ash?
Yeah, it was early this year,
His
Brownie.
third game, 2 men. So they
Bulldogs.
go forward again. If they can get boots of ball, that's dropping the ball. Good tackle by Nankervis. Advantage to Martin. He'll get away. Cunningham applied pressure. Rewald unselfishly paddled it towards Caddy. He's inhibited at the moment, Caddy, with a hip problem. Lloyd bounces the ball towards Cochin, who waits and gathers.
And he does. Now he goes long and deep, high footy on the head of Martin. He had to stand and wait a long time. Didn't really want the feel of bodies on him either. Handball comes back to Rioli. Rioli's got to go back and get it. He turns on a threepenny bit and then he turned into the Cunningham tackle. And Cunningham got him in a real good tackle as well. Dispossessed him and won the free. So Cunningham at half-back for Sydney. Revitalised Sydney in the early stages here of the second quarter, kicking the only 2 goals of it. They trail by just 1 goal. Cunningham up the wing. Franklin way behind the back of the pack there. Couldn't really have much of effect on it. Rance is down and holding the knee as well. Is he? Or, no, holding the side of his head in the short ball to Butler, but the umpire says bring it back here.
Paid a throw.
Free kick to Asprey as Rance hobbles off in front of you, Robbo.
Yeah, he's got a double whammy. He's got belted in the left side of the head, but also limping off on the left side too.
Short pumps the ball inside 50. Tigers converge. Martin dangerous. Can he break the tackle? No. Got a handball away. Nice candy. Butler on the side step over the top. Goal! When you have a look at that on the replay, that is a lot harder than what Butler made it look. He had to leap over the top of the player. I'll get the score of the way and the boys are back row can cover it. 7-1-43. Tigers lead Sydney 5-1-31. 9.5 gone second term. Triple M Ream scoreboard.
You caught a 12. Oh, it's funny because you watch that goal and you think it was a pretty regulation snap. But what he did was the best candy seller in the business. I think Darren Jarman all time was the best, but he hung the ball out there almost off the edge of his fingers, and a lot of players do that and they lose control of the footy. He was able to bring it back when all the players went past him and then snap it across his body. That is a rare talent to have.
Just watching the replay of Rance, got a bit of an accidental friendly hit from Broad in the side of the scone, so that's why he's scratching it. He'll be okay. He's up on his feet and ready to go.
You don't want it in the air.
So he's ready to go. Rance back in the middle we go. It's back out to a 12-point game in favour of the Tigers as Sydney get the clearance, but it lands with Ellis. Brandon Ellis goes out wide with his little kick out there and finds Lambert. His right foot kick was meant for Nankervis. Got it on the half hop. Little ball out in front here. Might have been Castagna. In fact, it was Short that kept it alive or tried to keep it alive. Kicked it out of bounds on the full in the end. So it'll be a free kick Sydney at half back on the City side of the ground. And it's Rampy, Swatter.
What are your numbers, Ash? What are they saying?
Yeah, the contested ball again for the Swans. They're on top in this quarter, 20-14.
They trail by 12 points. Ball towards the outer half-back flank. Tigers get there. Graham desperate. Flicking handball over the back was a no-looker. Against Higgins.
This ground is still filling.
Yep.
Behind the goals, almost full now. So we're going to get
over 40, 45 now.
High 40s, yeah.
Yep. So they come to Cunningham. Aaliyah is working hard. Will it wait up for him? It does. Takes the mark. Did he play on? Not according to the umpire. Buddy wants the ball. Got a little bit of room, but he's got two men to contend with. Asprey was good, filled the hole well.
Got it to the left foot of Grigg as well. Grigg's got plenty of time to slide it down the line. Cochin's really got a fight with Lloyd. Got it on ground level to Smith. Smith out there to Cunningham. Cunningham gets away from Butler. They've got time to get it on the right boot and hammer it forward, but without great direction because of the pressure, and Alice marks at half-back. He immediately goes to the fat side of the ground. Rance, I think it was. Graham it was. Waits for the footy out there. Got the short little ball to Nankervis. They want him to keep going as well. Little chip ball over the top there. Stretching effort there by Short. Short comes back inside, but Parker beat him to the footy and won it. Little sliding ball back inside here to Florent. Florent goes immediately from the wing on the edge of the square. Long ball broad. Marks defensively in front of Franklin.
Yep, just too far away to give Buddy an opportunity in the contest. What's the matchup numbers for Bosch Tools between Nankervis and Sinclair, Ash?
Yeah, for Bosch Tools, Swatter, in terms of the hit-outs, it's 22 to Nankervis, 19 to Sinclair, and the disposals, 7 to Nankervis, only 3 to Sinclair.
Grigg delivers a low ball to Rewald, who was clean at his shoelaces. Took the mark between wing and half forward. Waits, watches, punches the ball towards Rioli. Lloyd's there. No, it was Florent. Did well. Swans converge. Ronk comes through with speed. Couldn't get a handball. Florent did well to go back and give it up though. Got it towards his teammate Castagna.
Little left foot stab, hasn't quite got the journey, but it was well done by the Tigers. Their tackling kept them in the contest there. Here's an opportunity. Sinclair, beautiful little ball. Jones had a bit of a fumble and a fiddle and a faddle. Cochin got it to Martin. Martin, a little master stroke back inside. Up they fly. Hewitt spoils under enormous Richmond pressure here, Sydney. They've got to get it out of the back line. Ronk just busts it out with a big kick, but guess what? It's going to come back as quick as it went out because there's no one out there for Sydney. Graham, beautiful kick, finds Butler. Butler on the lead. 35 out near the boundary line. Will have a set shot at goal.
So everyone talks about Richmond's pressure and how good they are, but what they do, which I think is underrated, they handle pressure so well. Sydney are throwing everything at them this quarter. Their pressure ratings through the roof, but Richmond just handle the pressure. They don't cough the ball up, and they're doing a super job, the Tigers.
Two players I need to lift for Sydney, Rowan and Heaney. I've spoken about them. They have not had one handball received between them, and that is their go.
So Butler lines up here. 40 metres out, already has 2. Kick on the way is out of bounds on the full, and it'll be a minor score.
So the Swans to bring it back in. Robbo, just give a quick injury update, including Conker for the Tigers supporters just tuning in.
Yeah, poor Conker, broken ankle and a lot of pain, so he's going to suffer there. Cochin, lateral side left knee. We've got Jack Graham, hyperextended elbow, and also Josh Caddy, injection left side of the hip.
That's what you get, kids. Bob Jane T-Mart's well covered, Robbo. Parker with the fly, couldn't take the mark.
Swatter, Luke Parker, who racked up 13 touches in the first quarter, only 1 to date in this term.
So we have it thrown up left half forward flank. It's a tight game of footy between two good teams. 12-point lead to the Tigers. Sydney get it free. Hanbury hurriedly on the boot, heads towards the outer wing. This bloke, he's becoming a very good player, BT. Nick Vlosten with a nice grab against Gary Rowan.
Yep, and he just gets up, takes his time here with the kick. How's Rowan gone today?
Awful.
He's only had 2 possessions, BT.
Geez, up and down, isn't he, Rowan?
Not up often.
Up and down, yeah.
Down.
Strange operator.
A bit harsh, Joey.
Out wide here to Prestia. He takes the mark. Immediately chisels it even wider there, looking out there for Graham. In they come. Little funny handball from Higgins over the top. And how's Higgins gone today, Ash, on the Bosch Tools stat sheet?
Yeah, BT. Higgins for Bosch Tools, 7 possessions, 13 pressure acts.
Okay. That's why he's there. Boundary throw in, centre wing here. Full scoreboard, 7-1-43 Richmond. Sydney 5-1-31. 15 polished off here in the second term on the Triple M Ream scoreboard. Little knockdown from Sinclair to Kennedy. Parker got the handball to Ronk. Ronk wide to Kennedy. Kennedy has to go on the non-preferred left to Buddy. Kicked it too deep for Buddy. Went over the back here to Flostone, and he almost deliberately fumbled it over the line. deep in the forward 50 for Sydney will have a
There's
throw.
something you'd say negative about Franklin. He goes to ground far too often in marking contests when he doesn't mark.
It's a bit proppy, Brownie.
Yeah, but he went to ground a couple of times before that swatter, so he does go to ground too often in marking contests.
12-point lead. There's the former Tiger and Bulldog champ himself, Nate Brown, again next door to the St Kilda champ, Joey Montagna. But he just off the edge of the pack trying to warm the body up again in that marking contest. Went down Robbo quickly.
No, it's right side. Doctor out to him, physio out to him. He's limping. Right side, could be an ankle.
So the ball is thrown up. They get it free. Cunningham flicks it back to Buddy. Looks to be okay. Can't break 2 tackles. Fires a floating handball over the top of Hanbury with Cochin. He hunts the ball. Shoulders hunched. Head over the prune. Did well, but it may be marked. It is by Lloyd.
Lloyd's got it 55 metres out for goal. Little chip ball here, and it comes to Ronk. Couldn't spoil. In front was Broad. It was a strong defensive mark. It wasn't special by any means, but Ronk really gave him his best all-out spoiling attempt. Short ball wide to Dion Prestia. I'm sure Ozzy will be here tonight watching Dion go around. Another one out of the factory out there at Calder. High ball. Grundy takes a one-hander against Jack Rewalt. Immediately wheels and goes back inside. Pretty ugly kick inside 50, and Flostone again in the defensive 50 marks for the Tigers.
Squares it laterally towards Grigg. Cunningham's got the wheels. Has he got the composure? He's got that, but he was tackled well. Grigg and Rance got him. What are Floston's numbers for Bosch Tools, Ash?
9 disposals. Swatter. He's taken 3 marks and kicked a major.
So Grigg will head towards Asprey, who's camped at the top of the defensive goal square. Coventry in. Tigers protect the 12-point lead. Asprey's got a stack of time. Couple of casual bounces. Eventually, Ronk will charge at him. Asprey just over the top, and he's got his man, and that may be Butler.
Yeah, Butler on the half-back line here. 5-1-31 Sydney, 7-1-43. Good goal kicking here. Kick back inside, finds Broad. He's on the point of the square at half-back. Franklin's on the mark. Shovels the handball off, and the Tigers through short, penetrating low drop punt to half forward to Rewalt at the lead. That's how easy you can do it if you can kick the footy like that. What a wizardry kick it was, and Rewalt will line up within Rewalt range.
Now, I just made that note before. When Grundy's in a one-on-one with Rewalt, but they're body on body, that suits Grundy, Brandy. But when Jack can move around and get on the lead and slip Grundy, he's done it a number of times now.
Now, he's got short out the side. I thought he was going to give it off. He's not. Jack Rewalt will kick from 50. Slight bit of angle about it. Distance is the problem. Here for Rewalt. Lets it go from 52, and it's wide, out of bounds on the full. So 43 plays 31. Tigers in front. 7 minutes remaining in the half.
Big Nankervis playing a good game around the stoppages. He's had more disposals than his direct opponent in Sinclair, but he's also laid 7 tackles so far. That's the most in the game, which is pretty big for a ruckman.
Triple M Seabus Super special comment. Seabus Super for everyone in building and construction. Nate Brown, Joey Montagna, Aaliyah. A wobbly bouncing ball. Smith did well to gather it. Shoveled a handball over to Rose, but tried to cue to handball over the top. Tigers intercepted. Swarming pressure. Martin, Rioli got in the way. Got it back to Brandon Ellis. Squares the ball. Got it to Prestia. Getting busy, the beat ball. Inside the square. Got Floston.
Right in the centre circle here. The outer centre circle, if you like to be more specific. Floston taking a long time. Winding up the man on the mark. Got around him with a little fakie. And the lead by Rewalt just perfect. Identical position to where he was a moment ago. Identical distance. This time he handballs off because he didn't think he could go the journey. Got it here to Flostone. He hammers a long ball. It's offline as well. Over the line and through for a minor score as Caddy tried to catch the footy. 7-2-44 Richmond. Sydney 5-1-31 Nathan Brown.
It's a big ask for Justin Rose to come in, and we spoke to Longmire before the game about him coming in for Papley. It's a big ask to come in from the Neefle, where it's a lot easier to get a kick, to a Friday night game against the best pressure team in the competition.
Lloyd to himself, handball, Aaliyah, high ball, Rose will engage Rance, getting back was McCartan, couldn't take it. Grigg flicks a handball out, releases Edwards, left foot kick down the line, Aaliyah with his man, he's in front, 2 bites of the pill, takes the mark, Aaliyah, and he'll steady the ship with 5.5 to play. They trail by 13 points, Sydney. Robbo.
Yeah, Lance Franklin busting to get back on the ground, and I just noticed the paramedics back. As we know, Conker off with that broken leg. They would have returned from hospital.
Okay, they may have even got another ambulance in, Robbo. We have more than one these days. Robbo. Rowan. Centre wing. Drives the ball high down the line. McCartan setting himself. Rance from the side did well as well. Interestingly, little knock on there. Play on calls the umpire as Asprey tries to bust the Sinclair tackle. And we'll have a ball up.
Yeah, BT. Richmond are ranked number 1 for intercepts in the forward half of the ground. Well, tonight it's 15-8 the Tigers' way, and time in the forward half is dead even.
Ray, throw it up, Razor. Sinclair, beautiful little knockdown in the path of Hewitt. Just bangs it on the boot. Game 30, but very wide. Shouldn't be deliberate. And we'll have a boundary throw in. Inside the attacking 50 here for Sydney. And Ray Chamberlain limping as well, I notice. And he's been called out of the main play and gone to the middle. Keep an eye on that.
4:53 to
You're
go.
interested.
Yep. 13-point lead to the Tigers. 2-1. Sydney's way this term. Lambert, a busy player, puts it towards Cochin with Jones. Jones will have him for speed, but Cochin's got him for composure. Jones came back with a nice smother. Ball goes out of bounds as Buddy still waits to come back on. 44 playing 31 on the Triple M Marine scoreboard. Built
He's just
Aussie tough.
How's that? Buddy just said to the runner, get off your ass, mate, and go and get the guy off. I want off.
All right, he did, no doubt about it, Brian. Ream built Aussie tough with the latest technology when it comes to water heating. It's Dollar
He absolutely said that. And the runner now getting him off and saying to Grundy, you're the man, mate. You've been nominated. And Buddy's still saying to a little man here in red boots, Ronk, I think it is, get off the ground, mate. You're Ronk, I'm Buddy. And there's a big difference. Boundary throw-in despite your debut. Little knockdown here, Nankervis. A lot of players hovering over the football. Buddy was there. It's right in front of the in-change gates, by the way. Handball comes out to Hanbury. Umpire pays advantage. Throw. Matt Stevick. Floston! Big right over the top of Franklin. Got the absolute escalator lift. Buddy walks past him, couldn't believe it. Lear at the other end. Drops an absolute cincher. Ball hits the deck. Tigers shoveled out there by Cochin. Little handball comes further. Got to get out of here, Nankervis. Sliding handball back inside to Cochin. He's gone cold. Should have been incorrect disposal. And it is. It'll be a free kick going back to McVeigh.
Yep. Well called, BT. Great mark from Vlosten. Hanbury's kick. Well, it didn't do Buddy any favours. McVeigh with an important tackle. 3:45 to go. Tigers hold on to a 13-point lead.
One to pin up on the wall at home, though. Floston marking over the top of Buddy.
Rose couldn't take the mark. He dispossesses Ellis. Getting in there, Hewitt works in tight confines along the boundary line. Scrubs a bouncing ball. Buddy coming at Rance. Rance dropped the pill. Numbers back for Ellis. That's Brandon. Got a handball over to Asprey. Looped the handball back over to Rance. And he lays it off to Short.
He does as well. Now Short, who's been penetrating in run and kick. And this is no exception. Good ball. Castagna marking over the top because of the penetrating longer the ball than most thought. The short ball into the lead of Nankervis, I would have thought not. Hasn't got great hands on the march. Ball in dispute at ground level. Attacking 50 here for the Tigers. Nankervis picks it up. Tackled to the ground by Jones.
Terrific spoil by Sinclair. Yep, he was under pressure. Nankervis did a beautiful lead, had his hands out, and Sinclair, most ruckmen would have given up on that. Well done.
2:56 to go. A great game of footy. It's been tough, it's been hard, it's been quick, it's had everything.
Just
high ball.
to tighten up, Schwatter now.
Yes, Brownie, so McVeigh through the corridor. Here's a one-on-one. Buddy with Rance. Buddy gathers, tucks his backside in, arcs around, scrubs the ball towards half forward, but Grimes got a hand in there. Flicks the handball, the counter punch from Rance. He's running away from Buddy. The ball goes out wide, Short, got a man out wide. Mark is taken by Lambert.
You could just tell he loved that Rance. As Buddy wound up for the big, he just gobbled it along the ground. It was a shocker. Rance was the beneficiary of it. And now in the hands of Grimes as the Tigers slow it down. Toyota good for footy. I think $250 for every goal kicked tonight going to suburban clubs for the good for footy program. As Grigg now on the left boot. High footy inside 50. Lear! Strong defensive mark against Caddy. Peels off the little handball out the back door to Lloyd. Short ball opportunity here, and Rampy says, not me this time, I'm going to slow down.
Under 2 to go, poor kick, Vlosten again.
Floss has 6 marks along with his 12 touches.
So he'll wheel and go, puts it towards Nankervis, good spoil Rampy. Does he keep it in? Caddy, he does. Goes towards Martin. Halir goes to ground. Lloyd flicked the handball out. Sinclair support. But off the side of the boot, out of bounds on the full. So Tigers to reload. 1:36 to go. They lead by 13 points in their front half.
Caddy's got the free. It's right where the 50-metre line intersects the boundary. So it's not impossible, but it is from the left to right slider quadrant of the ground. Right up against the perimeter piping, the drip tray. Caddy Comes back out, opens it up, pops it to the top of the square. High 40 up, they fly. Gee, almost got it, Conchin. He got great elevation. Taken away from the ground level ball by Zach Jones. He goes out wide, looking for someone, couldn't find him. Rewalt takes the mark, sends it back inside 50. Here comes Castagna. Strong Dukes. Unloyed. And Castagna will line up 45 metres out on a 50-degree angle. Tough kick once again. Got to aim at the left post to slide this through.
Well, we know this kid's a good player, but he's probably more highly regarded internally than we realise. They reckon he is probably almost the best athlete at the club. He's powerful, he's explosive, his endurance. He very rarely gets beaten in the air, and we've just seen then he's capable of also taking a very big grab.
Jason Castagna, Joey Montagna talking about his kick a little left to right. He tries to chop it back the other way, and then it slides away. Up they fly, no winner in the air. Ball hits the deck. This is where Richmond are very, very dangerous. Rewalt hovers over the ball there, tried to almost dry it into the ground, and now we'll have a ball up here. 35 metres out for
Too
Richmond.
close to the man on the mark then, Brian, for Castagna. He got really close, and then he had to get some real height on it, which sprayed it out to the right.
13-point lead, Tigers. They have it in their forward half. They muscle McVeigh out of bounds. We'll have it tossed in.
Still beggars belief that players don't have a simple routine at goal.
Yep.
How do you get so close to the man on the mark? I've got no idea.
That's the voice of Nathan Brown. So it's Edwards against Sinclair. Sinclair, not surprisingly, won it down. Prestius' handball was outstanding, but the tackle equally was brilliant, and a goal-saving tackle in the end. And the tackler was Nick Smith.
How many times has he done that in his career, Nick Smith?
Just got some good run from Jaden Short in this quarter, Ash. What are his metres gained tonight?
Yeah, you're all over it, Brownie. Most on the ground, 454 metres, along with his 12 disposals.
Oh, wow.
I don't know whether he was all over it. He conspired with you, Ash, to come up with the goods there. McVeigh. And there is the halftime siren. A chock-a-block Etihad Stadium on a Friday night with fog wandering through the back door here. Injuries galore. Conker gone with a smacked ankle, and it is a close game as well. You couldn't want any more. Half-time scores: Richmond lead 7-2-44, Sydney 5-1-31. Don't forget, for McDonald's, pick up the McOz lunch deal for just $5 at Macca's between 10:30 and 2 p.m. Half-time here at Etihad Stadium for McDonald's. Triple M rocks footy.
Welcome back. It's half-time here at Etihad Stadium. An entertaining, tight, tough game of footy. Sydney at the main break Richmond at the main break lead the Swans 7-2-44 to the Swans 5-1-31. Triple M Best On Ground Award, thanks to Just For Men, gets rid of grey hair in 5 easy minutes. Visit justformen.com.au to learn more. Joey, some players that have caught your eye and a pretty entertaining good game of footy in the opening half.
Has been a good game of football. They're not the usual suspects, particularly for Richmond. Dusty Martin has had just the 8 disposals, been relatively quiet. Trent Cotchin, we know, has got a bit of a sore knee, the 11 disposals, but 3 of their better players certainly has been Jaden Short. We said just before half-time, the most metres gained on the ground, 12 disposals, 4 inside 50s and a goal. He's been really good off half-back. Nick Vlosten has had an excellent first half of footy, 6 marks, 3 of them contested, intercept grabs, 13 disposals. Really loving his game. He's really become such an important player for the Tigers this year. And Jack Rewalt is putting together a terrific game of football. He's also had 13 disposals, 8 marks, 2 of them contested, 5 inside 50s, 1 goal, and he's also given off a few others for some of the other boys to have a shot. I'm loving Jack Rewalt's game. And for the Swans, Joey Kennedy, the 20 disposals, 14 of them contested, and Jake Lloyd continuing to rack up big numbers in the back half for the Swans.
What I like about Richmond watching, I mean, we're calling the game, Joey, but the thing that sort of strikes me is they've got a number of players that play specific roles. Butler, you've got Jaden Short off half-back, Castagna, Higgins. They've got some stars in their team, but they've also got some real good cameo role players.
Yeah, it's a good call, Schroeder. They just got players that are very good at their position. And those small forwards, we touched on Castagna, how he's such an important player, such a powerful athlete, and Rioli. You've got Jack Rewalt. We know about their defenders. Nick Vlosten, I think, has become such an important player as an interceptor along with Asprey and Grimes and Rance. They're so settled. And I think what's happening with this chemistry in their role, they all know each other's intricacies. They know where each other's going to be. They know who's going to do what. They're just playing as a really strong team at the moment, and that's why they're in the game. I think they're a team that love the pressure game. Not only do they apply a lot of pressure and it makes it hard for the opposition, I think they absorb it really well too. They're always looking to keep the ball free in their forward half. They flick it on with handballs. They knock it on. They keep it alive because they know that's where it's dangerous in their front half. And in the back half, they're not overly flustered. Vlosten uses the ball well. Grimes and Asprey at times can control it. Short's their designated kicker. So I think Richmond handle these sorts of nights really well. They play strong contested football, high pressure game, and they do it for longer than most teams. And that's why they've tended to blow teams away in the last quarter.
So they lead by 13 points at half-time. Third quarter not far away. Sydney, what do they need to do to give themselves a chance to extending their recent run here? 14 of the last 15 games they've won.
Yeah, I think Sydney forward of the ball just need to be a little bit more productive. We know how good Buddy Franklin is, but if it's not Buddy at the moment, it seems to be Buddy or nothing. Normally Luke Parker has a role down there. He hasn't sort of hit the scoreboard much tonight. Haywood's been quiet. Gary Rowan's been quiet. So I think some of their forwards need to get a bit more in the action, find a way to involve themselves and give themselves a chance, because they can't just keep relying on Lance Franklin all night.
Yeah, Brownie's made a couple of comments in regards to Dan Hanbury just being off the ball. He's such an important player, and if he's not playing well, it puts a lot of pressure on Parker and Kennedy.
Yeah, it's right. He just seems to be a bit off all year, to be honest. Hanbury, we know a couple of years ago he was prolific winning the footy. Just hasn't quite got his same zip about him. I wonder whether it's the pre-season. He was a bit slow with his pre-season, but we know he's a really good aerobic runner. And when he's not doing that, he's just not quite as effective. The 11 disposals tonight, 7 kicks, but only going at 29% efficiency by foot. He just hasn't quite found his mojo this year.
So it's a 13-point lead to the Tigers at half-time. Umpires make their way back on the ground, 7-2-44 to 5-1-31. That's the thoughts of Joey Montagna as the Tigers come back out. We wait for Sydney, pick up a McOz lunch deal for just $5 at Macca's between 10:30am and 2pm. Robbo with an update on Reece Conker.
Yes, the Tigers are coming out and they're without Conker because he broke his ankle. Shocking for him. 100th game, it was going sideways, in a lot of pain. Gone to the Epworth, we understand. And when the paramedics, BT, they take Conker to the hospital, they replace him with another one, because you always have to have medics on board if something happens. I tell you what, walking down
should
here...
have mentioned that.
I did. Hey, I tell you, it is jam-packed, as you said, BT. Walking through the crowd,
Morobbo.
the bars are full. They're all standing around having a beer at half-time, ready to rip into this. But just quickly...
It's a record crowd, Rob. I don't know whether you know. It's 43,360,
I
record crowd.
The tide is right up there, I tell you.
Game.
It should be at the MCG. But anyway, Conker, busted ankle. Cochin, left knee, lateral side. Graham, hyperextended elbow, should be okay. And Caddy had the green dream just on the side of the hip, on the fleshy bit, but he's okay as well.
Good work, Robbo. All thanks to Bob Jane teammates. Now, Brownie, it's just come to light that our man here, Joey Montagna, who rolled up the highway, the Great Western Freeway, and just pillaged Ararat, who were just about on the brink of bankruptcy, cleaned up, got 16 clearances and 15 large.
Hopefully,
I'm led to believe that this coming weekend he's going to front up again.
Well, obviously,
as he termed it, I'm giving something
he's obviously
back.
missing the AFL wage that comes in once a month, and it's a very nice lifestyle. And all of a sudden, Joey, he's just giving a little bit back to his
Brownie,
back
up the highway.
No, this is amateur football. Back at my home club, my old school Marston College.
And they don't pay.
They don't pay. No,
they don't pay, do they?
They don't. Absolutely,
They absolutely don't pay.
do
They
not
don't pay through the books.
No. I wish Marston were able to do that. No, they don't. I'm just going to have a game with my brother and a few mates. I said I'd go back and play one when I finished. I don't really feel like it, to be honest, but I said I'll play this Saturday.
Where is it?
At Marsland.
Who are you playing?
I think Old Fitzroy. Old Fitzroy are in C-grade ammo, so they're on top of the ladder apparently, so hopefully I can get a kick at half back. I'm not the fittest, but I didn't eat a pie tonight.
They
so
normally try and hunch her at that level if you've got any sort of name there.
I'm hoping not.
Yeah, they do.
They will.
It's the only thing everyone says to you, give back to community football.
Why would you?
Dermot went back, broke the jaw.
Yeah, I know.
Anthony Mellington
Don't.
went back, got a broken jaw. Anthony Mellington from North Melbourne.
Yeah, well, he wasn't really a star.
No, I know that, Brian. I know that. Just trying to add to the conversation.
In fact, who did he play for?
Played for North Melbourne.
There's one out of the box.
Yeah, that's all I had.
I wonder if David Goytis went back and played. You ever heard of him?
No.
Yeah.
Who did he play for?
Richmond.
Did he?
Yeah.
Wonder if Tino Zataris.
Tino Zataris.
Back in
Elio Mazzio.
Roy Luff.
Athos Histrolakis.
Troy Luff still plays, doesn't he? He doesn't get hurt.
28 trips to Bali.
Geckos.
The Geckos.
Ricky O.
Yep.
What's he doing over there?
Yeah.
Sure. Business owner.
Has he got a business?
I'm led to believe so. All right, third quarter about to get underway, boys. 13-point lead. Tigers have it their way. Sorry?
All right, let's get it underway here. Second half about to start. As we wait for the fog to clear, it's wandered in through the ventilation area. 44 plays 31. It's a 13-point lead, Ash. Welcome back to you as we're ready to go. Second half here. Great game of footy. Crowd is just bubbling with enthusiasm and anticipation. And so are we. We haven't had a goodie for a longie. And we can't wait for this one. Matt Stevic to get it all started in the second half. Nankervis versus Sinclair. Nankervis won it hands down. Umpire lets it go. Parker got the clearing kick out of the middle, kicked it up towards centre half forward. An immediate mark by McCartan. McCartan's got it centre half forward. Geez, clean when he does mark the football, McCartan. Charlie will be here watching tonight as well, his other brother, and the kick goes forward and the mark is taken by Edwards at half back.
Yep. So he goes towards Martin.
Only 9 touches.
What's he averaging this year, Ash? He's tapered off a touch.
Yes, he's averaging 24 opposed to last year at 30.
Yep. Took it all before him last year, Dusty. Goes very short to this man that Joe Montagna took out in the halftime break for Loston. Back to Martin.
Pretty hard to get any better than the best.
Oh, yeah, no. He was unbelievable. Unbelievable. Took every award and a premiership, and Norm Smith did Dusty last year. So Alir guards the mark. Martin kicks around the corner. Hewitt goes back with courage. Took a nice mark in front of Lambert.
Gee, Lambert had the opportunity to clean him up there. Hewitt was a courageous mark right on the AFL logo. Goes across the ground and looking for a cleaner position into Cunningham. Cunningham very slow to move the footy. Rewalt stands the mark. Deliberate little kick to a present up in Jones. Jones marks just forward of the centre circle here. And Matt Stevic says to Grundy, don't block the man on the mark in Edwards. So Jones now allowed to go long and deep. High footy up they fly, almost a mark by Rowan. It's been one of those nights for Rowan. Almost got a kick as Rance took him on. He should get pinged here, and Razor's right there and a bit of a box on. Asprey came through at power, and Parker's done his shoulder as a result. Parker has done his shoulder as a result of Asprey coming in with power as an elbow. It's arm anyway, put it that way. And it was Asprey who came flying over the top. 50-metre penalty as well.
Really good tackle by Florent. The Triple M Chemist Warehouse replay screen. Parker comes in and then he gets hit from the side by Grimes. It was accidental contact from Grimes. He was trying to get McCartan off and it looks like it's hyperextended his elbow.
Yeah, he's going to stay out there though, strangely enough, Parker. So he kicks the goal, Florent. Got a couple here. Sydney fast start second half, 37 plays 44 on the Simply Energy scoreboard.
Robbo.
He's hanging that wing down. He's coming off Luke Parker, so he's in a lot of pain. It's a bit of a stinger, right elbow, but I reckon he's tough enough to come back.
7-point lead, opening goal to Sydney.
We'll just see on the Triple M Chemist Warehouse replay. It was a great tackle from Ollie Florent on Alex Rance. Tried to give him the don't argue fend off, but Florent committed the full body, chest into him, nailed the tackle, and then a few of the Sydney boys were just trying to rough up Rance a little bit, and Grimes was the one that came flying in recklessly that clipped Luke Parker.
Yep. Sometimes tries to do just a little bit too much, Rance, doesn't he?
Yeah,
just
he does.
Occasionally.
So a 7-point lead favouring the Tigers. Bouncing ball from the bounce down. Got it to Martin. Chipping ball around the corner. Rioli normally makes something happen. Dodges and weaves and gives the handball back to Edwards. Smart. Saw Butler. Chipped the ball into his path and he took the mark 55 from home.
Yeah, looks, prop stops. Nothing on for Butler. So now he's just going to kick it into the spot here. Found room for Rewalt. Jones bravely popped into the spot, the slot if you like, and punched it over the boundary line and out of bounds. We'll throw it in.
There's not too many more casual cats going around in the competition than Butler, is there?
No, he's pretty cash, that is for sure.
That's what I said.
Yeah, well, just repeating it. Boundary throw in here, high ball, something I shouldn't do. I'm just learning off you. Opportunity here, Grigg. Little handball, Cunningham to Alir. Alir with a little fender bender out wide to Jack. He got a poor bounce. This allowed Grimes to come in through, socket off the ground and go to the boundary line. But most importantly, retain it at their forward end of the ground here, the Tigers.
Early stages, third term, 7-point lead. Tigers way, Robbo.
Parker having that right elbow strap now, Swatter. So heavy strapping on the right side, elbow.
Nicely done, Bob Jane T-Marks. Tigers by 7. Umpire hurls it back in. Standing in the way was Kennedy. Got a handball out towards the boundary line and Caddy. Can he keep it in? No. We'll have it tossed in again. Left half forward flank, 7-2-6-1. Tigers lead, 4 gone, third term, top of the table clash. 2 goals to Florence. Sydney have kicked 3 of the last 4 goals, including 2 of the only 3 in the second term. As we have a look at Parker being worked on. by the Sydney Swans Medicos. Umpire throws it back in. Grigg hurriedly puts it on the boot. Rewald in front of Aaliyah. Outside his distance, Brownie. He's got Martin long one-on-one.
Well, he had a couple of cracks from here in the second quarter, and he got onto one, but not the second one, so it's right on the distance.
Well, he's held it long enough now. Sydney get all their numbers back. So Jack gets ready for liftoff.
Fresh is just about back in from here.
Yep. He'll kick from outside 50. Aaliyah guards the mark at 49 to the Coventry end for their first of the third. High ball on its way. That's a big kick. That is a clutch goal from Jack. Rewalt gets his first of the second half. And he's second of the game, and Richmond have the lead back out to 13 points, 5.5 gone. Triple M Simply Energy scoreboard.
Well, he's playing an awesome game of footy, Jack Rewalt. His numbers now, 14 disposals, 9 marks, the 2 goals, and he's also handballed off 2 when he's been outside 50 to the others. But sometimes, Brownie, you wonder when he kicks the ball like that, why he doesn't just back himself in every time.
It was sweet timing, wasn't it?
Hit that flush. Absolutely.
Back to the middle we go. Goal apiece here in the third quarter. Interesting, just playing a bit of background music. Something going on with my phone. I've got no idea how to turn. What's going on? Do something with it. Out of the middle we go. Hewitt, we're laughing because my phone's gone off its bananas in here and I'm not sure how to turn it off or even turn it on for that matter. Free kick in the middle. Opportunity here. Razor Ray. Kennedy's got it. So Kennedy, the foot in the middle, goes out wide to Smith. Smith handball to Hanbury. Hanbury hoiks it around the corner here with a poor kick. And Nan Curvis marks at half-back for the Tigers.
He's having a good game, Toby. Give us the matchup numbers in that one, please. Sinclair and Nan Curvis.
He's had 8 disposals, 4 marks, 9 tackles. Sinclair, only the 6 possessions, and Nan Curvis is broken even with the hit-outs.
Loving the game of this man, Nick Vlosten. Goes towards the broadcast wing. Smith there. So is Castagna. Edwards always finds a way to get hands free. Got it to Prestia. On the charge, Lambert. On the tear, Martin. That's simple footy. That's just predictable footy. Didn't overuse it. Got it at a free man. Off a step. Goes towards short. Hanbury's got to be good. He was in front and he was very good with a good mark.
Yeah, not sure why he went for the aerial contest with Butler and Hanbury. Martin there. And Hanbury's taken the mark. Peels off the handball out wide to Grundy. Grundy's searching kick long and wide over the head of McCartan. Handball Jack was fast to Rose. Rose goes even wider to Ronk. Ronk put out the one claw and peeled it off between half forward and wing. He immediately gets back into the field of play and then a little chiseler down there to Buddy. It was punched away from him though. Caught one in the guts as a result of that. Nan Curvis. Ball comes back inside 50 here for Sydney. Might have been in the back from Floston, it was. Sinclair will get the free here. Sinclair will get the free.
Paid the mark.
Been reversed.
Yep. Buddy's hit Rance in the face.
In the throat, I reckon, maybe, Schwatter. He's chopped him in the throat.
And Rance is struggling for oxygen. He's down on all fours, gets back to his feet, and he's coughing and spluttering and carrying on.
Costly mistake. Rance is on top of... Oh, it's open-handed. Open-handed push to the throat.
Got him to the bone in the throat, though. He could have pushed it through his neck.
It's a costly turnover, though, BT, or reversal.
Yeah.
Bone in the neck.
Kung Fu master.
Pushed it through.
Well, it's dangerous.
It's called an Adam's apple, is it?
Kill Bill.
If that collapses, you can't breathe.
Yeah.
People have had that pushed through the back of their body neck.
So a great mark by Rewalt. Tigers on the prowl. Cochin weaved his way through traffic. Got it inside 50. Castagna on the lunge. Couldn't take the mark. Edwards can't find a handball target towards Butler. He can get it back though. Good tackle of Lear. Ball spills free. Rioli got boots a ball. In the way was Hanbury.
Hanbury handball to Kennedy. Kennedy out the back door to Rampy. Rampy lets it rip from the back pocket. High ball. Grimes in good position. Ronk came through without great authority, I might add. Floston pedalled the ball out the back to Asprey. Took a little while to decide what he'd do. Got it to Cochin. Nan Curvis. Little change of direction there to the little meatball. Prestia shrugged off the tackle in Rose. Did that easy. Spiring ball to Butler. Got a clip around the ear from Hewitt for his good take. And Butler will line up 45 metres out on a 45-degree angle. Perhaps even a bit further.
Great core strength from Dion Prestia to hold his feet. Rose put together half a good tackle, but Prestia low to the ground, centre of gravity, broke free, and then the composure to find Lambert.
Lambert.
Very good kick at goal, this man.
Game 66. How do you know that when he's only kicked 13 in his career? Kick on the way. Well, I tell you what, you're right, because he has nailed that. Just got the journey, Lambert.
They go to training a lot.
Yeah, puts up the one finger. Says, yep, I'm Lambert and I kicked it. 37 plays 56 on the Triple M Simply Energy scoreboard. Simply Energy, powering up the AFL.
I sometimes get down to Punt Road and watch training quite often, Brian, and sit behind the goals and kick the balls back to Lambert, and he's a very good set shot.
Oh, I wondered how you knew.
It was excellent play, Richmond. Again, it was another forward half turnover. Rampy looked up, he had nowhere to go, and Richmond were able to get their 20th forward half turnover for the match, convert into a goal. Sydney, on the other hand, have only turned the ball over 10 times in their front half. So when the ball's in Richmond's half, they're getting their forward press working well.
19-point lead to the Tigers.
Game high, Ash.
Spot on, Brownie, for Bosch Tools.
Joey Montagna, Nate Brown, Triple M C-Bus, super special comments. Umpire goes down, almost gets run over. Martin just bangs it on the boot, torpedoes it without touching it with a hand. Bouncing ball eludes everybody but Aaliyah. Got to be clean, got it over to Lloyd. Releasing handball. And the Swans under enormous pressure. The high ball out wide is marked by Jones. So the Tigers to reload, but it's a free kick going back Sydney's way. It was McVeigh was the kick. Downfield free kick against Rioli for a push in the back as McVeigh got the kick away.
So it comes back to McVeigh as a result of all of that. In the back pocket. Plays on. Goes down the line. High footy, trying to reach over the back was Nankervis. In front was Ronk, claimed a triple juggler, and it's been paid. So Ronk at half back kicked the opening 2 goals of the game, and now sells a bit of foot candy on Nankervis. Got him airborne, was able to just waltz around, and Floston in front couldn't hold the mark. Play on calls the umpire. Little handball back from Ward to Floston. He was always under trouble. Handball, incorrect disposal, said the umpire, and a free kick will go the way of Sydney on the wing. And 50, I think. Maybe not. Floston's been told to go.
No,
it is 50. So this will mean Sydney will be within kicking distance here. I think it's Parker with the free.
Oh. Wow.
I reckon he's reported him too.
What did you see, boys, rather than just the sound effects?
Triple M Chemist Warehouse replay. Parker just gave Floston a little push after getting the hold of the ball, and Floston's thrown back the elbow and hit Parker flush in the head. Yeah,
that would have hurt.
Yeah, that was a flush elbow back in the head.
That's
not good.
That's a 3-weeker.
Yep, with you, Brownie.
It's a massive 50. So what he's saying, who's out for 3?
Floston. And he knows it too, standing on the mark. He knows that he's in a bit of strife.
Elbowed him fair and square in the eye. It would have hurt. I mean, 3 weeks. That's a minimum 3 weeks.
Yep.
Well, the doctor's just checking him out now, the physio, asking whether he's can see. It's pretty important when you kick for goal.
Well,
and he's shaking it off and said, "Yep, I'm all good to go, Doc." And then he did a guzzy. And it just hung off his jaw. So now he lines up Parker. 35-metre kick. It's a goal. No problem. Sydney 43. Richmond 56 on the Triple M Simply Energy scoreboard.
And he's given a bit to Vlosten to go on with too. He's fired up now, Parker. He's just looked Vlosten in the eye and wanted to go on with it, and Vlosten basically apologised and said, "Sorry about that, mate." And terrific finish from Luke Parker. He's one hell of a tough cookie. He's now got his elbow strapped. He's got a
question is
swollen eye.
Intentional or is it reckless?
Well, that was intentional. Don't worry about that. That was intentional, but low impact, high contact, whatever that equates to in the guidelines.
So irrespective of the result, they're without Conker, and they'll probably be without Vlosten as we have another look on the Triple M Chemist Warehouse replay screen. You've seen it now, BT. What do you reckon?
Accidental.
A 13-point lead to the Tigers. 2 goals apiece in this third quarter. Triple M Simply Energy scoreboard. Nice bounce for McDonald's. Triple M rocks footy. Parker's a hard nut. Got it to another hard nut. Jack couldn't get boot to ball. McVeigh gets in the way. Hewitt did well. Got it to Rowan. Cruises through traffic. Can he break the tackle? He can. Can he keep the goal? No! Because Superman arrived. Alex Rance with a spoil.
A mid-air smother. And then he did the suplex as well. And then he fired the handball off with Tannenbury intercepted. Play on calls the umpire. All of that into real close play. Eventually the ball came out to Greg Little. Left foot call around the corner. Off hands Rioli before it even hit the ideal there. Back handball in the middle Edwards. Edwards gives it to Higgins. Higgins backwards. Looking for a bit of running support from Graham. Got it. Dices back inside. Finds Martin. 35 out directly in front. Dynamic Richmond play off half back. Martin hasn't kicked the goal today.
Extraordinary from Alex Rance again. He's the almost man, isn't he, Gary Rowan? Took off in the middle of the ground. Brilliant play, but Then Alex Rance, just the diving smother, which stopped a certain goal. Richmond clean from end to end, and Jack Graham did well to step back inside. He had the poise, because going the way he was going, he wasn't going to find a target, step back inside, and then found Dustin Martin.
Rarely misses from set shots, Ash.
Yeah, spot on, BT. 7 goals won from set shots this year.
Jeez, he really. Martin comes in, 30. Got him a little close to the man on the mark, which made him kick it high once again. He didn't check with the umpire as to where the man on the mark could come to. He comes straight at him, and it pulled the kick like a 9-iron up in the air and minor score.
Robbo, quickly.
Karen Jack, bit of a stinger, left side. He's going to be okay. Just flagging the doctor away. We just thought it was a problem, but he's pretty good, Jack.
14-point lead favouring Richmond. Aliir got the mark, gave a handball off to Lloyd, drops it long down the line. No mark taken. Floston involved again. And have we confirmed a report with that incident? No, not yet. All right. So that'll play out over the course of the next couple of days. Floston involved with an incident. Luke Parker kicked the goal. Parker throw up on the outer wing. Cochin with Parker. Ball comes to Hewitt. Tackled well. Comes to Parker. Just paddles the ball into the path of Cunningham. Hurriedly bangs it on the boot.
Yeah, he does left foot, in fact, and goes up towards half forward. No winner in the air. Ball hits the deck. Now Rose has got the wraparound tackle happening, and Matt Stevic, the umpire, says give it to me. We'll ball it up at half forward for Sydney.
Isaac Heaney is yet to record an effective disposal.
For the game.
For the game.
For this game.
Oh, boy. 14-point lead here with Richmond. Isaac. Opportunity. Prestia, who's been really good in this game. Limited prep. Rewalt tried to paddle it over the top, intercepted by McVeigh, who's been pretty impressive. Goes high inside the Swans forward 50. Handball by Alice out the back door to Conker. Conker goes wide and finds Asprey. Asprey splits the ball out to Short. He's the one they love, kicking the footy short. Gives the handball off to Higgins. Higgins, a neat little kick around the corner to Graham. Graham gets a lot of the footy. I'm not sure he knows how to kick it all that well. Kick back inside is very, very nice on this occasion to Short. Short, such a penetrating low hard ball, and there's 50. Protected area against Haywood. And this will mean that Short will line up from 20 metres out on a very slight angle. Matt Stevic says, come with me. And was it?
Yeah, on the Triple M Chemist Warehouse replay, it was. Will Haywood came from behind where the player took the mark and tried to then man the mark, but didn't run out the 10 metres wide to get around to the front of the mark. He ran through the protected area to man the mark.
Okay, so that's a correct call?
That's a correct call in that situation.
So Short, as a result of that description, lines up 25 metres out. Remember, the Tigers lead by 14. This to make it an even 20. 9.5 minutes in the third remaining. Short to make it a 20-point lead. Got it. Excites the Richmond fans behind the goal. Richmond lead by 20 on the Simply Energy scoreboard. Simply Energy powering up the AFL. And oh no, Ash has dropped his stats little notepad book again.
Well, in a tight game, Brownie said in the first quarter, they're a big penalty, the 50-metre penalties, but in that case, you've got to obey to the rules. And Will Haywood tried to do the right thing. He tried to hand over on the mark, but he just ran through the protected area to get there. And that's been paid all year, so it was a definite 50-metre penalty.
Certainly was. 20-point lead to the the Tigers, I should say. Jaden Short kicks the goal. 3-2 in this quarter, Richmond's way. So 9:13 to go. Big crowd. Thursday night footy, round 15 underway. Nice bounce for McDonald's. Triple M Rocks footy. Nankervis, rode by Kennedy. Off the back edge of the square. That was Haywood. Couldn't get it. Cochin was outstanding. Goes again. Tackle on Kennedy was good, but he got a handball away. McVeigh runs into Martin, and Dusty went bang with a strong ball and all tackle.
So Martin with the free just forward of the centre circle. Kicks in there to the leader. Rewalt could Dukes. Aliir couldn't get the fist there. Geez, led strongly at the footy tonight and marked well, Rewalt. He's really presented magnificently straight up the little.
He's been awesome. It's his 11th mark for the game. How many of them contested, Chew?
Yeah, 4 contested for Bosch Tools.
Yeah. And he's kicked it well. He's kicked 2. This one's another 55-metre kick. Directly in the middle of Etihad, kicking to the southern Coventry end. In he comes. Looks like he's going to get a little too close to the man on the mark again. Searching for the journey. High ball. Big ball to the right-hand side and a score. So a 21-point Richmond lead here on the Simply Energy scoreboard, Swallow.
McVeigh took the mark. Handball Jones has a bounce at speed. Runs the outer wing well. Now drives it long, a kick in hope, but there's two men back for Richmond. Rance is one of them. Numbers favouring the Tigers. Hewitt was outstanding, was it? No, it was wrong. It was absolutely sensational. High ball towards Rose. Will Graham get there? No, but Ellis got the spoiling. Graham gets there late. Sydney with numbers. Quick kick, Ronk again. That's Parker. Looks a bit like Ronk, a bit older, and that's the second goal to Luke Parker. Got his second. And Sydney drag it back to a manageable 15-point deficit. 8-1-49 to the Tigers, 10-4-64. 20 gone, third term. Triple M Simply Energy scoreboard.
Yeah, well, Luke Parker will be credited with the goal, but Ben Ronk was sensational in that contest, just half forward. It was 2-on-1, as you said. Rance was sitting down the line waiting for Zach Jones's kick, and he had the perfect position, but Ronk was able to just do enough to bring the ball to ground and then won the contest and kicked it to the top of the square where the Swans players were waiting, and nice finish from Luke Parker. But Ben Ronk here beat Short and Rance. Brilliant bit of play, and then got the ball to the dangerous part of the ground.
3 goals apiece in the third, 15-point margin here. Not much has changed since half-time when it was 13. And we've played exactly 20 minutes of footy since. Umpire Razor Ray Chamberlain goes back to the middle. Little bounce. Off hands, Kennedy trying to extract, no good. Edwards, clean ball out of the middle to Prestia. Prestia sliding handball to Caddy. Caddy inside of the square to an open goal square. Needs a skidder. Oh, it stumped the bottom of the goalpost. And a minor score, so a 16-point Richmond lead here on the Simply Energy scoreboard.
7:20 to go. Robbo quickly.
I'm just noticing, I know Heaney hasn't touched the ball, but he's put the tracksuit top on. So just an observation. I don't know whether he's buggered or not, but tracksuit top on Heaney.
Ball comes back in from the kick in. A mark taken by Grundy. Last line of defence. 7 to go. Third term. 16-point lead Tigers way.
He hasn't looked right tonight, Joey, has he? He hasn't been anywhere near the football. He hasn't been involved in really anything at all.
Heaney, that is. Edwards, what can he create? Puts a high ball inside 50. Rampy with Rewalt, numbers back. Sydney Smith gets a hand in there. Ball goes out of bounds. We'll have it tossed in.
John, if they want to win this game, John Longmire's got some decisions to make in the box, because they're losing their structure quite easily, where Richmond are holding their forward structure. That's why Rewalt's getting good looks at it. Martin at the moment, Jack Graham. When it goes inside Sydney's forward 50, they've got no structure.
Ball knocked forward there by Sydney to the defensive boundary line. Edwards almost got hold of it. Free kick will go Sydney's way here. It'll be a Kennedy free. How's he gone today, Ash, on the Boss Tool stat sheet?
BT, 28 possessions, 18 of those make that now 19 contested.
Right in front of the Triple M Rocks footy signs. Don't those signs look good at that end of the ground?
Yep.
Jones now goes out wide with a high ball. Had to wait a while, Smith. Marks. Uncontested. Still inside defensive 50 here, Smith. 22 ticking over in the third. Kicked 2 of the last 3 goals here, Sydney, with a little bit of a mini run. Smith goes very wide, kicks it out of bounds on the full and back to the Richmond bench. And it'll be a free kick going the way of Short, who's going to take it from right in the Richmond gates.
Yep, they lead by 16, the Tigers. Graham off. 6 to go, third term. Another one before three-quarter time. A big leap from Rewalt.
That's a good
Would make it hard. Jeez, he's playing confident footy. That was one clean grab, and he's just going back. He goes, I think I've got this distance, boys.
That is a big mark.
Yep, on the Triple M Chemist Warehouse replay screen. Big leap. One grab. Nice mark. So Rewalt's got 2. Had a shot a few minutes ago. Tigers lead by 16.
He actually thinks he can't miss the marks at the moment. He just grab anything. His hands are working that well.
Can he cap it off for a 22-point margin right behind the kick? Gets underneath the ball. That is as good as you'll see in the modern game. Got 3, Jack. He is absolutely 100% confident in his ability. And the Tigers have it out to 22 points at the 23.5-minute mark. Third term, Triple M Simply Energy scoreboard.
You know, they're a lot better club when he's playing a selfless role and not kicking a lot of goals. But I tell you what, they're much more enjoyable to watch.
It's fun to watch.
When Jack Rewalt's playing like this. I love the fact that he's doing what he's doing. And we talk about Sydney's kicked 3 goals this quarter, but I still reckon John Longmire needs to try and restructure. It's a false economy, those 3 goals. What they've done, they've scored 2 goals from 50-metre penalties and 1 from a really lucky Ben Ronk individual effort over there. When you think of Richmond's goals, they've been lead-up mark, conventional style play. I know who I'd like to back going into the last quarter if that continues. The conventional style of play over the luck.
Heaney's still sitting on the bench with the trench coat on. I reckon can only be a concussion 20-minute wait, Robbo, surely.
Oh, something wrong, BT.
Oh, well, really? There's Martin in one of those moods tonight, Robbo.
Robbo.
High ball. Up they fly. Castagna. Big crash. Both players met mid-air. Umpire rightly calls play on. Good contest it was. Nothing more than that. Allaire to Lloyd. Goes wide to Hayward, and Hayward marks defensive 50. He can run and go, but look at Richmond come through Butler. Just the inferred pressure makes him kick it to a 3-on-1 Tigers way. They punch it out of bounds. He was coming so quickly, Butler. He was never going to get to Hayward, but just that inferred pressure over the line out of bounds.
Fair to say Nankervis has had the best of the ruck duel for most of the night tonight.
Yep, good call, Brownie. Joey Montagna, Nate Brown, Triple MC Bus, super special comments. 4:40 to go, third quarter. Richmond controlling at the moment. Caddy tries to get a handball to Cochin. Couldn't find the target out of bounds.
With Jack Rewald coming into tonight's game, hadn't kicked a major from outside 50. As we know, he's nailed 2 tonight. And with Nankervis, Brownie, 10 tackles. That's a PB for him.
22-point Tiger lead, fourth quarters. What are they like for both teams this year, Two-Man?
Yes, Richmond have won 10, Sydney 7, but Tigers have outscored their opposition by 155 points in fourth quarters.
Sinclair got the free kick against Nankervis on the broadcast wing and drops it long. Here comes Buddy with Rance and Grimes, and over the top Ellis. Back of the pack, bouncing ball. Parker can't get it. Out of bounds, we'll have it tossed in.
Throw in here. The McDonald's Triple M Rucky football. Pick up the Mackay's lunch deal for just $5 at Macca's between 10:30 and 2. Any time during the day, of course, that would be. Boundary throwing, given the fact it's between 10:30am and 2pm. An opportunity here. Picked up by Hewitt. Little left foot snap around the corner. Got long penetrating ball here. High ball inside 50. They fly. Floston swats it to the boundary line and will throw it in. Let's check the full scoreboard. Richmond 11-5-71. Sydney 8-1-49. That's the Simply Energy scoreboard.
And Brownie, you're talking about Sydney's forward structure this quarter. Buddy Franklin hasn't touched the ball in this third term.
4 minutes to play in that third term that Joe Montagna speaks of.
It's the opportunity for a coach to have an impact on the game at three-quarter time for John Longmire.
Seabus super special comments. What do you think he might do, Brownie? We'll come back to you in a moment. Collect your thoughts as the ball goes towards the boundary line again. We'll probably go over, Brownie.
Well, I'd like to see some more players stay at home. Right now, when they look up, they haven't got a structure to kick to. Sometimes they kick to Ben Ronk, who's the smallest man down there, and Luke Parker. They need 2 big players to kick to, because at the moment it's too easy for Richmond to pick off.
Here's the voice of Nate Brown, Tiger and Bulldog champ. Triple M Seabus super special comments. Parker comes through at speed, couldn't get it. Quick kick around the corner, Rewalt marking everything, Jack kicking everything too. What are his numbers for Bosch Tools, Stu?
Well, this is mark number 13. His PB is 14 for
A
Bosch
long
Tools.
way from home for Jack at half-back. Medallion Club side of the ground. Tigers lead at the moment by 21, 27, 22, 27 gone third term. Florent, good work by McVeigh to get rid of his opponent, but coming through, Lambert tapped it into the face. The bonds of Lloyd. It ricochets out of bounds, and we'll have it tossed in.
It was a Falcon shooter.
Might be worth what John Long might think about getting Buddy Franklin up the ground. Get him involved. They need a bit of a spark and maybe get some of their other players deeper like Luke Parker and Gary Rowan.
Seabus super special comments for everyone in building construction. Joey Montagna there. 22-point lead here with the Tigers. Here's Lambert. Got through heavy traffic really well. Swatted off a couple of arms. Gave it off to Graham. Graham high ball. G. Martin, I reckon, was being held. Allaire went up. Almost had it in the gloves. Pressed here. Sideways handball. Miss Caddy. Allaire went and got it. Spinning pirouette out of trouble. Went back into trouble. Umpire calls play on. Sydney under real pressure here. They extract though. Little one here from Ronk. Had a fresh airy. And a free kick. Diving tackle by Graham will be rewarded at 10-half forward.
I might seen that, BT. Wondering if Graham actually had his hands on it once Ronk broke the tackle. Anyway, Graham's got the ball inside the square. Tigers by 22. 28 gone. We've got 2.5 to go third term. So Graham will go with a high ball. Hangs in the air. They'll come from all quarters. Almost a mark by Castagna. Tigers get it free. Trying to bullock his way through was short. No, it was Butler. Ball gets kicked out. Mark will be taken in the end by Smith. A dour defender getting a bit more of the ball this year. They trail by 22, Sydney.
2:25 remaining in the third. Smith elects to go outside near the boundary line. Grimes goes up, flies in the back. Rose has got the free. Advantage is paid. In the meantime, Sydney are on the wing with Buddy. Franklin wanted to wheel and go on the left inside. Nothing on. Has to wait for the troops to arrive. Eventually gets around Grimes. Now wheels onto the left. A little Chisler short ball finds an opportunity with Hewitt. Hewitt takes the mark. Thought about an outside handball. Be much better to go a little more direct than that. McVeigh demanding that Hewitt go wide, and he eventually did, and he finds Parker.
They had Gary Rowan one-on-one in the goal in the forward 50 for a while.
Didn't want to go there.
They didn't want to kick it to him one-on-one.
145. Why? You reckon they've lost confidence in him? Parker, probably
Yes.
not. High ball, up they go. Hayward marks, and he marks strongly.
Well, he's a man you do kick one-on-one to. A couple of times Gary Rowan one-on-one, players looked, and chose not to go to him that one-on-one. I'm not sure why.
So Haywood will line up no more than 30 metres out, almost directly in front. We're ticking over with 1:23 remaining on the clock in the third quarter. This is a big-time kick for Sydney. They're down 22. This is huge in the context of an 11-8 goal game. He's 11-6 from set shots this year. Haywood basically dead in front. Beautiful kick, goal. So they get their ninth. Sydney 9-1-55. Trail Richmond 11-5-71 on the Simply Energy scoreboard.
Well, we spoke about the two structures, Joey, and forward 50 for Richmond, forward 50 for Sydney. 12 marks to 5 in favour of Richmond tonight. You would have thought that would have been even with the marking power both have got, but Sydney only the 5 marks inside 50 is pretty ordinary.
And that's why I sometimes like Buddy up the ground, because he's such a beautiful kick inside 50. Sometimes if he's not getting much ball playing inside 50, let him be the one that kicks it in to the likes of Haywood or Parker or Gary Rowan down there. So I don't mind getting Buddy up the ground a little bit.
Robbo.
Still trying to get word on Isaac Heaney. Doctors really haven't gone to him at all, so we can't see anything physical. I think BT's on it with regards to the concussion test. He's got the tracksuit on. He's going nowhere.
He might be ill as well. The way that he's looked today, he's been pretty flat. He might be crook.
Bob Jane T-Mart set in for the end of financial deal.
An
Deals
ambulance.
on now for McDonald's. Triple M Rocks footy. Swans get it free again. Jack absorbs the tackle. Got a handball to Lloyd. Handball back to Haywood. Back to Lloyd by hand. They go through the corridor. Here comes Buddy with 3 Tigers over the top. Loose ball, Rose. Free kick. It's going to Bud. It's going to Bud. What was it for, Brownie?
In the back.
He'll get
So
the
with
journey.
33 seconds on the clock, this could be a Buddy moment.
This was the kick I was talking about.
Yep.
He'll get the journey here easily.
So Rance is just outside 50. Buddy to the locket end. One Sydney great kicking to the other Sydney great. And this would be a clutch goal. They trail by 16. 13 seconds on the clock. Buddy to influence the game. 3/4 time. Oh, he kicked it out of the mark.
50.
50. Ray.
And he gives it to him.
Little Ray.
Oh.
Ray will march Alex Rance to the goal line, and Buddy will kick a goal after the 3/4 time siren.
Like to see the Triple M Chemist Warehouse replay screen on that one, because I thought Buddy was getting a little bit too close. Did Rance go over?
Jeez, he did. He went over by half a metre.
4 seconds on the clock. Franklin has one. He'll get a second, and Sydney will be within 10 points at 3/4 time. Still waiting for a replay.
Well, we saw that he was 52 metres out when he smothered the ball, Rance. We just need to see where Franklin took the mark.
Siren sounds. Franklin to drag it back to 10 points. Top of the goal square. Buddy's got 2. Sydney, back-to-back goals. 3 of the last 4 to finish the third term. And the entire Swans team get around Buddy Franklin. Go and get a cold beverage. Go to the toilet. Then get yourself ready for a big fourth quarter. 10-point lead to the Tides for McDonald's. Triple M Rocks footy. Big fourth quarter coming your way. The teams start to disperse. Richmond lead by 10, conceding 3 of the last 4 in that third quarter. 11-5-71 to 10-1-61. Two-man Bosch Tool numbers, please.
Kennedy, he's the number 1 ranked player. 31 possessions, 20 contests, along with 7 clearances.
So we're just seeing the replay of the 50-metre penalty against Alex Rance. He definitely went over the mark. On the Triple M Chemist Warehouse replay screen, Robbo. We'll go down to Robbo shortly. What about your thoughts, Brownie and also Joey? That was a good response by Sydney when Richmond had it out to a 22-point lead.
Yeah, it was a good response. It was needed. They looked like during that middle part of the third term, it was all Richmond. As Brownie said, their forward structure was much better. They looked much more effective and efficient when they went forward, but a couple of late goals, Will Haywood's mark, and then the lucky 50-metre penalty to Franklin, and it's got them right back in it. But you still think, Brownie, the way these teams are playing, Richmond are probably the safer bet.
Yeah, they've played the better football for the best part of 2.5 quarters now. Sydney are going to have to do something pretty big in this last quarter to get over the line, because you feel like if they do start to come, Richmond will close this down.
So we're out to, that'll be about to get underway here in the final quarter. It's a 10-point margin. Bob Jones team marks, Robbo.
Yeah, Isaac Heaney, a head knock in the second quarter, so it's just come through. So he's that's the reason he's got the tracksuit top on. He's in the back row now, and he's out of the contest with concussion. So a head knock, second turn.
Nice work, Robbo, from Bob Jones team marks. Head in for end of financial year deals on now for Bob Jones. Ready to go here in the final quarter. The teams have been out there early on every occasion to start the quarter here. Big crowd in. It's a record crowd for these two teams here at this venue. Over 43,000 people are ready to go. Richmond by 10 points. 11 goals to 10. Razor Ray takes an eternity to put the ball up, knowing that this is big time national TV time, and he's sucking up at least 20 seconds of it. Up they go. In the end, Nan Curvis won it down, but only as far as Kennedy, who sharks it and spearing kick the buddy. He does Rance in a genuine one-on-one marking contest, and he's marked it, and he'll kick it from exactly 50 on the 40.
And he's freshly oiled up too, BT. Have a look at those arms. They are glistening.
Oh, yeah.
He has got the oil on those, and it was a terrific one-on-one mark against the two superstars. And Bud will get the chest puffed. He can kick this.
No wonder Rance slipped down. Franklin to accumulate 100 metres in 2 kicks if successful with 2 goals. He's got it.
Bang.
That is a big bastard. He's got 4. Franklin has kicked 4 and got Sydney within 4 on the Triple M Beaumont tile scoreboard.
Imagine how many goals this man could have kicked in his career if he kicked like this the whole way. His goal kicking is outstanding. He's gone away over the off-season and he's worked on it, and he runs a lot straighter. 895 career goals now, and he looms the man most likely because he gets in this confidence area and he starts to lift. Now, Rance would be wondering, what is the next move? Are they going to get the ball out of centre time and time again? Because he isn't getting a lot of support. He's starting to get more one-on-ones as this game goes on.
What about the centre clearance from Joey Kennedy, though? It was an absolute beauty.
Well, he's the man. You've got to stop from a Richmond point of view. So we get ready to go again. 4-point lead. Kick 4 of the last 5, Sydney. Trail by 4. Hewitt off the back edge of the circle. Got a handball to Jack. Flicked it over the top. There's a bit of confusion. Sinclair got in the way of Parker. Getting in the way again was wrong. Can he break the tackle? No, he's pinged. Advantage. Nankervis got a hurried high ball to half forward.
He didn't really want it. He's not the man to take the advantage, but it goes to Rewalt, punched away. Zach Jones with a casual handball. Grundy's kick was smothered right off the boot by Graham. Went back and got him, Grundy, in a pulverising tackle, but he won't get the free. He'll just force the ball up on his defensive 50.
They've been a bit shaky all night down back when they've had the ball in their hands, Sydney. They're normally very sure with their ball handling.
That's the voice of Nathan Brown. Seabus Super Special comments coming your way today on Triple M Football. Ball's in attacking 50 here for the Tigers. Nankervis bundles it out. Cochin trying to keep it moving towards goal. No win there. Hewitt got it to Parker. Bit of a fresh air handball there. Comes to Florin. He's wrapped up. Can't move the arms. Interesting tackle. And now Martin's got hold of Florin as well again. It might have been Hewitt, it was. We'll have a ball up right on the 50. Score 11-5-71 Richmond. Sydney 11-1-67. Ball up. No real winner out of this so far. Florent got the handball to Kennedy. Kennedy goes the low ball out of bounds on the full.
Yep, good pressure by the Tigers.
It's another clanger inside their defensive 50. They just seem to have had a lot of errors in that half of the ground where they don't normally have the match. What are the numbers for Clanger's defensive 50?
Yeah, 14 to Sydney now, only 5 to Richmond.
Grimes pumps it inside 50. Ali's there. Loose ball. Dangerous ball for the Swans defenders. Martin got a toe poke to Lambert. Runs into a good tackle. A wall of Swans tacklers. Parker relieving ball. Going up early was Asprey. Got into the back of McCartan. Like the look of this young kid. He's got it on the broadcast wing. Early stages, final term. 1 goal to Sydney, off the boot of Buddy, got 4, short ball sits up for Florent, Edwards got a hand in.
He did, knocked it to Graham, but then Graham gave it back to Edwards, who was immediately under real ferocious Sydney pressure. After all of that, Kennedy ends up with the footy, gets it out wide to Rowan. He was slipping and sliding, Rowan. He's had an absolute mare tonight. He's kicked that one out of bounds a full, and Franklin and Rance have a push and shove and a good old chat as well. I reckon Buddy said, mate, this is the only way you can get a kick, is out of bounds on the full. He kicks into Cochin.
Yep, delivers the ball out wide to Jaden Short on the bounce. He gathers. Jack will put pressure, but Short got the kick away to Greig. Hayward gets there to guard the mark. So they've just hemmed the Tigers in their defensive 50. 4-point lead, Tigers way. But he's got 4. Caddy, numbers, Ash.
Josh Caddy's been quiet, 11 possessions, 1 major.
Yep, so he's got the ball right half-back flank. 4 and a bit gone to this final turn. 1v2, big clash, poor kick. Lloyd takes the mark.
So Lloyd just 4 to centre wing near the boundary line. Sydney's side of the ground here, heading south in this last quarter, Sydney, to the Coventry end. Lloyd, a high ball inside 50. Buddy's underneath it, backing back was McCartan bravely. Over the back it came there to Asprey, gave it immediately to Floston, banged it onto the boot. Perceived pressure there as well. Parker trying to keep it alive. Prestia trying to back out of the tackle, but he's caught. And the ball's pinned in the tackle, and Matt Stevic says we'll ball up 60 from Sydney's goal. So 11-5-71 Richmond, Sydney 11-1-67 on the Triple M Beaumont Tile scoreboard.
Yep, so we'll have it thrown up left half forward flank. Repeat entries inside 50 for the Swans. Early stages, final term. Grigg, a relieving high ball out wide. Rewalt there, no mark. Alier lets Jones go at it. He's tackled well by Castagna. He's stripped well by Castagna. Castagna's followed up and tackled well, taken the ground. We'll have it thrown up. Right half forward flank, out of side. Tigers to the lock it in. Yek to kick a goal in the final term. Buddy's got his 4th.
4-point margin in favour of the Tigers here. They've led basically all the way other than the opening 2 goals of the game that Ronk kicked. High footy for Sydney. It's a centre wing on the edge of the centre square. Here is that man Ronk. Handball was cut off there by Floston. Ronk had a second go, so did Rose. No, neither successful. Short, tapped the ball along the ground, not to safety though. Richmond really going hard. Nankervis had to come and use the hip and shoulder. Got it to Short. Cochin bails out the handball to Grigg at the back of the pack. On the left boot, sends it high. Not so long. Rewalt again, Mark. He has not missed one tonight. He is marking everything that comes his way. A good looking kick finds Higgins. Higgins has marked 50 metres out directly in front here for the Tigers. Jumping Jack Rewalt as Higgins passes short and finds Cochin. Not 15, the umpire said. He has to turn around on the right boot. What a bad mistake that is from Higgins. A minor score there only. 5-point margin.
Career high now, equal 14 marks for Jack Rewalt, and Sydney have made the move. They've now got Dane Rampy on him after Grundy spent the first 3 quarters on Jack Rewalt.
Richmond by 5.
I don't know if I've seen Jack Rewalt mark the ball better than he has tonight. Ball comes out towards Hayward. Nice kick. Juggles the mark.
That's a good call, Swan.
Yep. Yeah, he's been so good, so high and so clean.
Yeah, he's taken 7 contested as well, Rewalt. That's an equal PB as well.
So Hayward just drops it long. It's a high ball. McCartan will come in front. Got a hand on it. Grimes did the same. Rance lets it go. Sinclair just tracks Nankervis. And he's wrapped up in a tackle. Right half forward flank. So just the 1 goal in this 4th quarter. We played 7 minutes. Sydney have got the goal. Cochin leading by 5, leading from the front. Got a handball, Nankervis.
Alice to Asprey. Asprey short kicks in half back. Grigg's got space and time. Demanding the footy as Higgins didn't get it. Goes out wide and finds Butler with the short kick. Marks it right on the Toyota. Good for footy logo. Little chip kick over the top. Higgins eventually catches up the ball. Took the mark. Turns around, plays on. Right foot kick deep. Rewalt one-hander. Not paid to the umpire. Play on as he claims the mark and said, hang on a minute, I marked that. Why not? Lambert went back and got it. Little handball there, cut off by Allaire. In they go. It was Caddy, got boot to ball. Butler's there fighting it out. Hanbury just it wide, found Lloyd.
High ball. It may come back. Tigers have numbers, but that's a good mark. A really important mark by Hayward. Tigers supporters thought there might have been a free kick in it, but the umpire said no, not on this occasion. Hayward just off a step, goes towards the outer wing. Tigers have the numbers. Rance will come. Easy pickings for Alex. Had no one with him. McCartan got there late, but Rance took the mark.
So Rance just forward of the wing, but more centrally located. Kicks out wide and finds an opportunity to an unmanned player out there in Grigg. Got that little handball over the top here to Prestia. Prestia, beautiful little kick. Caddy marks right where the 50-metre line intersects the boundary, so it's a deep angle and a long way. Caddy is a good kick. He's perhaps 3 metres inside the boundary line here, Caddy. So he's got a live open face, as we can see on the Chemist Warehouse screen. Wayne Ludby, one of our best photographers, right in the picture there as well. Unusual for them, they're not supposed to be. As Caddy kicks it out of bounds on the full. And the margin is 72-67. Richmond right 5 points.
Interesting tweet coming through from Wayne Carey, claiming that Bruce McAvaney is the best caller bar none, and he says sorry to BT and Dennis.
He's actually tuning in while he's on holidays.
Well, it's easy to say when you're
Chucking on bintangs.
got your stomach.
So Rampy drives a high ball to Hayward, who's getting busy in this term too, man. With that's his third mark.
Yeah, along with 4 touches.
So we've got a 5-point ball game here. 9 gone, final term. 1v2. Hayward goes back to Reg Grundy, takes the mark and almost falls over on the flat. And he's got it with Rioli guarding the mark inside his defensive 50. So Grundy just lays a handball off to Lloyd. He just spears the ball down the line. That's a bad kick.
Higgins gobbles it up, then takes the mark in front of McVeigh. So Higgins now eventually goes very, very long and high. Rewalt's under it. He's no chance from there. Ball knocked down. Prestia ran past it. Martin ran after it. Couldn't shake off the tacklers, though. Got the little handball. Richmond in trouble, though. It's only 15 metres out from their goal here. They're pressing Rampy. Cool handball to Alier. Alier comes back inside instead of staying outside and stuffed the ball down the throat of Brandon Ellis, who took the mark. 55 metres out here for the Tigers.
Yep, too far from home.
Both sides lacking just that little bit of composure in the heat of this last quarter.
So Ellis goes inside 50. Rewald had a good fly and it couldn't take the mark off the hands out of bounds, throwing 30 around from goal.
And I reckon that's the fatigue factor too, starting to play Brent. It's been a red-hot game, high pressure, high intensity. You can see Sydney's forwards are struggling to reset. Teams are just blazing away. They're getting tired, and that's what's happening in this last quarter.
Seabus super special comments from Joey Montagna for everyone in building and construction. Beaumont Tile scoreboard. Little one knocked down here to Hewitt onto Kennedy. By the way, tradies, head to beaumont.com.au to find out. Now you could get 60 kilos of free CDA glue. I don't know whether you've ever used it, Swatter, but CDA is the good stuff. It glues the tiles to the wall and they don't come off. The cheaper stuff, sometimes you having a shower and you all of a sudden stand on a tile that's fallen off. Not with the CDA glue.
So we'll have it thrown in right half forward flank for the Tigers. Kennedy had a big night, Josh. What are his numbers, Ash?
36 touches.
Hewitt comes away just a bit quicker, Ash. It's a pulsating final quarter. Just don't make it about you. Rance takes the mark.
He does at half back here. Immediately wants to go to the fat side of the ground. Finds Graham unattended. Graham can go short out wide, and he does. Delivers that ball to Higgins. Starting to come into the game though here. Thought about the handball over the top to Ellis. Didn't want it. Higgins. What does he do? Tries to bite off a little bit by just going sideways to centre half back to Broad. They all peel off him, hoping that he'll kick it.
Yep.
Broad will be forced to kick it now. Just goes short within his limitations and finds Floston at true centre half back. Floston, a neat little kick over the top. Finds an opportunity here with Lambert. Lambert goes the all or nothing out wide. Got the sit over the back there. Couldn't hold the mark. On that occasion, Asprey. It was McCartan that did a great job recovering his own contest there. How about that? Gave it to Grundy with a little handball. Grundy's kick around the corner, not good. Lambert, handball to Edwards. Edwards goes down the line with a kick. And Grundy takes the mark for Sydney at half back.
The handball off to Lloyd. Robbo quickly, real quickly.
Keep going, Swatter. Keep
Hands
going.
in the back. Thought Hanbury should have got a free kick. Vloston got it to Rance. So it's yo-yoing between the 50-metre arcs here. Tigers protecting a 5-point lead. Going through the middle. Prestia. Here comes Jack. Tried to play for the free kick. Castagna. Handball. Got it out to Lambert. Dribbling ball into Martin. Did he get a hand on it? I don't think he did. Tigers out by 11 points. A really important goal in a tight tussle in the final term. Lambert's got 2. A dribbler, 12-6, 78, 11-1, 67, 12.5 gone final term. Triple M Beaumont Tile scoreboard Tigers way.
Well, it was played between half back and half forward for a good 5 minutes, and no club could get a real good run at it. It was hurried kicks inside forward 50, snaps across the body, which was shanked inside forward 50, until Richmond got a clear, easy run through the middle. Had 3 players running, and the game opened up for them.
And just sneaks under the radar, doesn't he, Kane Lambert? It's now 22 disposals and 2 goals, over 100 Supercoach points. He just continues to fly under the radar, but such an effective player for this team.
One of those role players, Joey.
Yep.
Richmond Bay, 11 points here. Plenty of time on the clock, 10 minutes remaining. Stevic gets it underway in the middle with a perfect bounce. Knocked down Cochin. Got it to Prestia, the human meatball. A little sizzler! Marked there by Rewald on a charging lead. Man on the marks at 55. I'm not sure Jack's got this covered.
That's 15 marks now for Jack Rewalt, career high.
They've given him the 30 though, even though the man on the mark is at 54.
Now, if he strikes him like he did in the third quarter, he might be able to get this.
Rewalt searching for his 4th to match Buddy. An old full forward shootout here. Goes low and hard to the top of the square. Hasn't got the journey. Rioli almost took it. Handball from Higgins. Got it to Edwards. Snap goal! 17-point Richmond lead. Edwards kicks his first, and Richmond have opened up a mini little lead. 13-6-84 to Sydney. 11-1-67 on the Beaumont Tiles scoreboard.
And again, it's the busy players. They've got more options forward, Richmond. The first one was Lambert kicked the goal. On that occasion, it was the big leap by Rioli that crashed the pack and the ball came to ground. Who was there? Richmond small players. Higgins out towards Edwards, snap across the body. You go down the other end, and if Franklin doesn't mark it, nobody else does.
Well, the old saying, Brownie, used to be in last quarters, the big men don't get any smaller. I reckon the game these days, the busy men, the little forwards, they don't get any less dangerous when the game's up for grabs. They're busy, they're creative, they're always involved, and when everyone else around them gets tired, they come to the fore.
Triple MC Bus super special comments. Joe Montagna, Nate Brown, Robbo quickly.
Sides one down. Heaney gone with concussion. Also Conker. 100th game.
Here they go
Here.
again, Robbo.
Gone
Cochin
hospital.
on the tear for 3 in a row from outside 50. It's a wide kick. Through for a behind. They lead by an even 18 points here. 3-goal margin to the Tigers. Sydney only have 9:06 to play on the Triple M Beaumont Tiles. Tick-tock.
Clock becoming a factor. Jones to kick it in. Elects to bring it to the interchange side of the ground. Goes to the low footy, and the mark has been taken here by Grimes. Grimes, a short little kick. Surely that's not 15 to Martin. Martin's been paid the mark, though. 55 metres out from Martin. He wheels and goes long and high, but it goes too far left, and he kicks it out of bounds on the full in the end. So a minor score. Check the full scoreboard. Richmond 13-7-85. Sydney 11-1-67. We've played 15, got 8 3/4 remaining here.
Got to get on their skates now, Sydney. High ball from Lloyd towards Franklin. Carries the pack. Rance is there. Paddled it into the path, but Rowan gathers it. Can he break the tackle? No! And he cannonbolts into a couple of people
there's a player
on the Swans bench.
Player getting a massage, and he's hit the player getting the massage and the trainer's still getting back to his
That's
feet.
Matty Cameron, the physio for the Sydney Swans. He gets up. It was absolutely poleaxed. How no one's got a serious injury there. Well, that's lucky. Nothing short of very lucky.
Poor Will Hayward it was, getting his groins rubbed, and then he had 3 players fall over the top of him.
When the play's so close, they should be watching and rubbing. Can you not rub and watch at the same time? I can drive and text at the same time. Why can't they rub and watch?
Really, Brian?
Greg, just a joke. Greg's got the footy here. Short little ball to Cochin. Cochin marks, wings. So time ticking. 85-67. Richmond's way. Cochin very wide, looking for Nankervis. Sinclair there, knocked down Edwards front and centre. Was Kevin Bartlett-esque. Took a little bounce, ran into trouble. Got the handball back to Nankervis. Nankervis gives it to Rewalt. Got a clean pick up here. Handballed all in the one motion. It was quite brilliant from Jack. Doing everything. Got it on the string tonight. Gee, Nankervis's handball wasn't so good. Florent, side a bit of foot can. He did it really well. Will Howell now have to get around Asprey. A Chisler rants in there in front of Rowan. Rowan's had an absolute shocker tonight. Can he do something? He busts the tackle, and then he has a fresh airy. It's been an absolute stinker for Gary Rowan tonight.
You got to get the boy off.
So they go through the corridor. Higgins got it to Grigg. One more will kill off the Sydney Swans for the Tigers. High ball. Rewat's there. Here's a Falcon right off the top of the bonce. Top of the crown. Comes to Sinclair. Got to be good. Lowers the eyes. Drops the kick. Got it to Hanbury. 6:50 to go. Hanbury. High ball. But he won't get there in time. Tigers have numbers. Kennedy. Can he get a handball or a kick into the path of Franklin? Parker might get there first. No, short. Got there quicker, was cool, calm, collected, and got it to Prestia.
Yes, he was indeed. So just a moment to draw our collective breath here as Asprey at half back has got the footy. He's going to do nothing but go down the line. He's kicked it out of bounds on the full. And it goes close to the Sydney bench. And strangely enough, this time they're looking and rubbing at the same time. Sinclair from right in front of the bench. McCartan jumps on top of Kennedy almost. Takes a nice mark. How many's he taken tonight?
McCartan for Bosch Tools, 5 marks.
Centering ball is magnificent to McVeigh. They've got to go, and they've got to go very quickly here, Sydney. McVeigh, time ticking down to 8. Gets a bit on the mark. Sends a long ball. Hewitt advances, couldn't hold the mark. Pack crashes open, spinning out of the pack there was Broad. Got a funny handball, could have been deemed a throw, and the kick was lucky, and it lands with the Tigers in their back half. I think that's Lambert.
Prestia's numbers for Bosch Tools.
Yeah, Prestia 22 disposals.
So Lambert down the line, mark taken by Lloyd, 5:38 to go, got a wheel and go. Margin 18 points, short ball. That won't get it done for Sydney. Hayward will load up and just put it towards the pocket. That's a stinker of a kick. Marker out of bounds on the full. Mark being paid to Dion Prestia. So the full scoreboard reads Sydney 13-7-85, Sydney 11-1-67, 19 and a half gone, final turn.
So this is how professional they are. They know when the game's over. They know when they can ice it. And they've now gone into ice mode, haven't they, the Tigers? It's all about maintaining possession, stretching the clock, using the clock broad. They get the opportunity to go, they'll go. This is Brandon Ellis. Beautiful ball from Ellis. What a magnificent kick that was. Found an opportunity here with Grigg. He'll wheel and go on his left side to the centre of the oval. Ball to the lead here of Rewalt. Rewalt marks. And he's just been brilliant on the lead and in the hands tonight. He's kicked 3. And this one from 35 out on the 45 angle.
Well, Joe, you said before the game you're worried about Heath Grundy being able to just that step off some players at the moment in his latter stage of his career. And it's been a pretty big call.
He's had a fair night, Jack Rewalt, and as you said, they made the move to Rampy, but he's red hot at the moment, so it doesn't matter.
He was in touch by that stage.
Exactly right. Doesn't matter who's defending him now.
Bulls, 21 disposals here for Rewalt. 35-metre kick. Just a little bit of angle about it. He waltzes in, it's a little right, so he misses. And just the minor score, 13-8-86 to 11-1-67. Sydney on the Triple M Beaumont Tile scoreboard.
Yep, you just about say they're home here, the Tigers. Last roll of the dice for Sydney. Rowan tries to flick a handball over the top towards his teammate Cunningham. Tigers are onto that. Bouncing ball paddled into the path of Grigg. Puts a high speculator. Rioli will think about it and then thought better of it. Rewalt gathers it. Tries to give a handball over the top. Hewitt rides the bump. Gives a handball towards Jones. He's set upon by a couple of Tiger tacklers. Then he tried to bullet the ball through. Had it for a long time. McVeigh's away.
McVeigh, a little kick in the middle, not so good. Broad's going to intercept it here for the Tigers. Nothing working here at the moment for Sydney in this little patch of play. Graham got the little right foot squeezer kick and found an opportunity here with Martin. He says steady. Umpire's not allowing him to use the 30, I don't reckon. They're pointing as if to say they're going to kick there. And the umpire has given him the benefit of the doubt. And he said, OK, you've got your 30. Man on the mark's at 55. Possible, I guess.
Being very generous to a Brownlow medalist, I think, the umpire.
So Martin uses the full clock. They can call play on if they deem him to be wasting time. Kick into the hot spot has been marked by Hewitt here, or been dropped, in fact, and they play on with Rampy.
Florent. Eventually Sydney feed the handball towards Rose. McVeigh flicks a handball on the bounce out towards Aaliyah. Back to McVeigh. This is all taking time off the clock. Cochin comes tearing through. Squeezes the handball. Lambert to cap it off. And cap it off he does. 3 to Lambert. Tigers are home. They've killed off the Swans. And they will sit on top of the AFL ladder a game clear, respecting the fact West Coast have a game in hand. And on the Beaumont Tile scoreboard, 22 and change played. Richmond 14-8-92 to Sydney 11-1-67.
Well, this is what Richmond do. They've done it for a long time now. They just go for longer and harder than nearly every other team in the competition. And we've seen them blow out, Brownie, some average teams in the competition. But to do it against probably the second or third best team in the competition just shows how consistently Richmond can apply the pressure, withstand the pressure, and then run away with it late in the game when others get tired.
Big last quarter from Lambert.
And just with the Tigers, they're ranked number 1 in the comp for scores from turnovers at 69 points per game. Well, tonight they've posted 64. And the crowd BT, 43,519, a record this year.
Yep, for these two teams, is it?
At Etihad.
Yep, a record for Etihad this year.
Yeah, between these two teams and for this year.
Okay, Ash. Out wide it comes here to Martin. Hasn't been absolutely sensational by any means. Short little kick finds Edwards. Edwards marks and he'll use the 30 as well because the man on the mark's on the 50-metre line. So it's an even 25-point margin here at the moment. Richmond have been pressed on many an occasion and have been able to respond on every occasion. As Edwards uses the clock. Big crowd in tonight. Good game, first versus second. Thursday night footy. Misses Cochin on a standstill lead, if there is such a thing. McCartan funneled out the handball, and Sydney are away here. Swatter off half-back with Jones.
Runs a long way and then runs into trouble. Got it off to McCartan. Tumbles the ball down towards Rowan. Rance will come. Rowan hasn't been clean. He ducked under the Rance tackle. Got himself into some space. Spears the ball inside 50. Almost by default got it to Ronk. Wasn't the intended target. But Lambert doing it at both ends of the ground. Gathered the ball and put it over the top of the head of Graham, who's got time.
They love dropping Rowan too. I bet you he's in the outs next week.
Well, only Sydney player not to have a tackle tonight, BT.
Gee, that's incredible. He's just looked terrible tonight. Florent, good contest with Martin. Chisels one back in the middle. It's been gobbled up by Edwards, though. He looks around, can't believe there's no one within 15 of him. And a little soft kick finds Grigg, and Grigg's marked 45 out directly in front. Rewalt says use your 30.
Used the ball much better in this last quarter of the Tigers. They played with composure. The first 15 minutes of this last quarter, the ball was end to end. Franklin kicked the first one, and then it was half forward to half back. A lot of mistakes being made. Since that moment, Richmond have had the composure. They've had the calmness to be able to use the ball, chip it around. They had the game on their terms for the last 15 minutes, and Sydney haven't been able to keep up. C-Bus Super for everyone in building construction. Grigg looking around to try and pass off to give someone another 30, but I don't think we need to go to that extent when there's only 30 left. 30 seconds remaining, 25-point lead. This to make it 31 would blow it out. Little Rewalt flew on the line and almost marked, so it's a minor score. It was Caddy flying, in fact. 26-point margin here with the Tigers, Swatter.
Yep, Lloyd just drops it long. Franklin inside the square, loose ball, fall of the ball. Tigers get it back to Broad. Quick kick round the corner. Lambert takes the mark. Siren 10 seconds away. Lambert's got 3. Jack's got 3. Franklin's got 4. And the Tigers have the win. A game clear on top of the AFL ladder. Richmond too good. 14-9-93 to 11-1-67.
Fury, we're from Tigerland. In any weather you will see us with a grin, risking head and shin. If we're behind then never mind, we'll fight and win, for we're from Tigerland. We never weaken till the final siren's gone. Like the tiger of old, we're strong and we're bold, for we're from Tiger. Yeah, we're from Tigerland.
Huge win from the Tigers of 26 points here over the Sydney Swans. 14-9-93 to Sydney 11-1. 67 points. So Richmond, Ash on the live ladder, do what?
Yeah, BT, they're outright on top of the table, and they'll be that way come completion of this round. They have racked up their 11th win for the season. Their percentage is healthy as well, BT, 135, the best in the competition.
Look at the amount of people that have stayed that are Richmond supporters that are standing and singing the song. It's of the 43,000 we had here tonight, it's a good portion of them, isn't it? Very strong indeed, the support base, and getting here to Etihad Stadium tonight as well, where we've seen a ripping game. It really has been a good one. Conker, broken ankle, no good. Let's go and hear Kane Lambert, thanks to Channel 7.
Yeah, it was. I think most of our players are really unheralded with the work they do off the ball. And, that's what team sport's about. It's not necessarily when you have the footy, it's putting your teammates in better positions. And, that's a Richmond brand.
What about Jack? He's someone else that does a lot of work for his teammates and often goes unnoticed, but he was in rare touch tonight. Can you remember a better game from him?
Oh, look, Jack's been fantastic for a number of years, and he's changed his game, and he doesn't get the accolades he deserves because he's going up against 3-4 opponents and bring it to the ground. But today we've seen him fly high, hold his grabs, and kick bombs from outside 50.
And what about your opposition? Never easy to beat. What makes them so difficult to play against?
Oh, look, Sydney have a fantastic brand of footy, and every time you come off, you play the Sydney Swans, and they've been a fantastic side for a number of years, and their inside contested game is it's going to be tough, and they're going to go a long way this year, I'd say so.
Well done on your own performance, and good luck next week.
Thanks, Stacey. Cheers.
Kane Lambert down there, courtesy of Channel 7. We thank them for that, and we'll be going down to the rooms for the songs, so stay with us. Plenty more to come. We'll be looking at the Just for Men Best on Ground Award as well. We look forward to that. That'll be judged by Nathan Brown and also Joey Montagna as well for the best on ground. We'll get the Bosch Tools stats in a moment. Here's Alex Rance, courtesy of 7.
Alex, I have to ask, the build-up to a week like this, it's a big game on a Thursday night, but also you're the centre of it. We're all talking about your match-up with Buddy. Is it different, and how do you handle that?
Not so much. Played a lot of footy now, so I feel really comfortable within our system, and I know I'm going to get great support from Nick Lawson and Dave Ashbury, who today I thought were absolutely super. Looked after me, and Bud kicked goals, but our system won, I thought.
And you mentioned Nick Lawson and also another one of your improved players, Jaden Short. Where has their improvement come from, and how enjoyable is it to see them flourish?
It's so enjoyable for me, especially, and Jack and Trent are the same. That's our job as leaders, to make others around us better. So seeing those guys just really grow in their own confidence, for Nick to be able to just read the play the way he wants to, and Shorty to take it on and use that great leg he's got, is really, I love seeing that happen.
And it got a little bit willing with you and Buddy. He doesn't say much to us. What did he say to you?
Oh, no, it's always just a good bit of banter. We love playing against each other, good, hard opposition. I'm not sure about that 50 that was down here, but I'll let him have it this time.
Were you over them up?
Oh, I didn't think I was. Maybe I'll have to chat with Razor during the week.
Let us know how it goes. Congratulations, Alex.
No worries, thanks, Days.
Alex Rance there as well, courtesy of 7, which we thoroughly appreciate. Bosch Tools stats. How did he actually perform on the Bosch Tools today, Ash? I know you're going into your team thing, but Rance.
Yeah, Alex Rance, BT, 13 possessions he had, along with 5 marks, and Buddy Franklin, he finished the game with 9 possessions, 3 marks and 4 majors.
All right, Ash, Bosch Tools stats. What have we got?
Well, the inside 50s, well weighted in favour of the Tigers, 61-43. 4.5 intercepts, Richmond number 1 in that stat, 35-15 tonight. And look at the scores from turnovers. They also lead the comp. The Tigers average 69 points per game. Well, tonight they posted 10-5-65. They also had 39 more uncontested marks opposed to Sydney. And the leading ball winners, Lambert 27 with 3 majors, Cochin 26, Presti with 23, Rewald 23 disposals, 16 marks, a PB, as Joey said, 7 contested at an equal career high, along with 3 majors. Nankervis 18 disposals and 10 tackles and 41 hitouts. V Sinclair with only 10 touches and 39. And for the Swans, 37 to Kennedy, 23 of those contested, and Lloyd had 33.
Get some thoughts from Nathan Brown and Joey Montagna on what they thought of the game, guys. What do you think?
Yeah, I thought it was a really good game of footy. It was high intensity in the first half, a lot of pressures, a lot of tackles. It was high numbers, and in the end, we thought the Swans might have been able to turn the tide back with a few injuries to Richmond, but Richmond are just so good at playing that way for 4 quarters, and they play it right out. Their little small forwards that apply the pressure continue to do it all game, and in the end, it was just the weight of numbers, wasn't it, Brownie? The weight of numbers were in Richmond's favour. They just keep attacking, they keep pressing. Sydney, we know, do so well to defend, but they just couldn't sustain the pressure from Richmond, who just do it from start to finish, week in, week out.
But when you see 2 good games, 2 good sides like this play, you realise how good of a competition we do have. Yes, there's some bad games, but tonight was brilliant. I just thought that the bottom half of Richmond's list outperformed Sydney's bottom half. You look at the low number getters from Richmond. Castagna did his job. Butler, Rioli, Broad and Grimes. They really did their jobs. But you look at Sydney's, Isaac Heaney didn't touch it before he went off. Rose stepped up, wasn't up to the challenge. Gary Rowan had a nightmare. Kieran Jack at the bottom level, and Callum Sinclair didn't touch the ball much tonight too. So the bottom 4 or 5 players for Richmond were much better than the Sydney bottom 4 or 5.
Nathan Brown and Joey Montagna with their thoughts on the game, courtesy of Cbus. Well, the Richmond players are just congregating at the race there, waiting for all of the slow coaches to get in. They'll head down, and they are sort of the number 1 team in the competition right now.
No doubt about it, BT, playing really well, and you sort of suspect they're playing well enough, but they've got another gear, Joey.
Yeah, I heard Nick Vlosten during the week say that as well. They think they've still got a lot of improvement in them as a side, but that's what you can do when you're a really good team. You can tick off the wins, and you can still work on your craft, work on your game, and know you've got more to come when you need it late in the season. So they're in a super position. Richmond, as Brownie said, they're going to get a couple of finals at the MCG, so good luck to whoever can beat them
and
at the
MCG. Super consistent this year. I mean, last year you probably couldn't say that about them, particularly early, whereas they've improved on that. They're definitely a better team this year.
No doubt.
Consistency,
No doubt. And you're looking at the players, the role players who've certainly stepped up their game. They're doing a remarkably good job, and they file past a former Tiger himself, Rado.
I tell you what, mojo down here now, boys, because you use the word consistency, and that's exactly what they're doing at the MCG. Don't forget, they've got Adelaide next Friday night. They're sitting on 16 straight, going for 17 to equal the record of Melbourne's and then to break it the following week, and that's how confident they are. They did it without Conker, unfortunately broke his ankle. But they'll sing this song with gusto. This is 1 versus 2, and they're on top. They made a statement tonight, boys.
Keep going, Robbo. Tell us what you're seeing and hearing.
Absolutely. I tell you what, they're all in. They're all in. One in, all in. I've got Cochin. We're going to talk to him. Don't forget that they had massive injury problems, BT, didn't they? And they got to half-time in front, and they were able to stop the comeback of Sydney and get to the tape, rest the tape on top. So really happy Tigers here. Tim has been down here for a while. He's in the room waiting for them, but I reckon we can get the skipper on the cans fairly soon. So really excited stuff.
Anyone else in the rooms there, Robbo, standing around you?
Oh, there's plenty. But that's your job, mate. But,
who are they?
What? I'm standing right in the middle of the players. Actually, Dimmer is just congratulating his mates. I've got Trent Cochin now, so I'm just plugging in, BT. So I'm going to stick the cans on the captain.
Yeah,
here we go.
You stick them on there.
Here we go.
All right.
Trent, unbelievable effort. The fact that this was 1 versus 2, high expectation. You come to a foreign place, really, Etihad Stadium, because you've been so powerful and good at the MCG, but you're able to stop their comeback and come out on top.
Yeah, it was always going to be a hard-fought contest. We respect Sydney, the way they've played for so many years, and in particular this season they've been in fantastic form. So to come away with the wins, obviously a fantastic result, but I was really proud with the way the boys continued to show up in the contest, and obviously that got the ball in our half and gave us an opportunity to score.
I'm just looking at the injury list there. You got Conker, unfortunately broken ankle and a lot of pain, and then yourself, you went down. Graham hyperextends an elbow, and then Josh Caddy, he did his hip, so you were really lucky, I reckon, to be able to go at half-time 6-3 up, compose yourself, and then get back on track.
Yeah, I mean, that's the game of AFL. I think that's why people come to watch our game, is because it throws up so many different challenges throughout, whether it's momentum, whether it's opposition players dominating, whether it's injury. And, it's so sad to see one of our great mates go down in the way he did in his 100th game as well. And he's had a horrid run with injury and finally had broken through. So it's really disappointing. I don't know the full extent of the injury, but we'll get around him, give him a lot of love, and hopefully it's not as serious as everyone's first thought.
Koch, well done tonight. This might be a tough question, but have you seen Jack Riewoldt play a better game of football?
No, I was just speaking about it with a couple of the boys on field. I just think his contest work, you expect it of him every week, but he just clunked so many of them this week as well, against a quality opposition in Grundy and the other key backs down there as well. So, it's nice for him to get some reward, because he does a lot of the unrewarded stuff for a fair chunk of the year, and we'll have to keep him on track this week.
Koch, we've just been discussing how well Richmond are going this year as well as last year, but we all commented that you look like you've probably got another gear left in you.
Yeah, I think, the back end of the season, you want to continue to improve and play better footy than you have in the start of the year. So, there's some deficiencies in our game that we want to tidy up. I won't let anyone know those ones, Brownie, but we're just looking forward to every opportunity that comes our way. We've got another fantastic challenge next Friday night against the Crows, so we look forward to that, and hopefully we can bring our best.
And you are very much an animal lover. You have 2 big Samoyeds.
How many times you got to bring this up?
But they are very nice dogs, Trent, and I wonder how you clean them, and do you do it monthly or bi-weekly, or what happens, because they are very big, they're white and they're fluffy.
Yeah, well, I send them somewhere to get clean, because you know how hard they are to dry, and it's about every month or 2, but it gets expensive, Brownie, as you would know.
What, you blow dry your dogs?
Well, you have to. You have to. They're bloody that white and fluffy, but that's awkward.
Oh, boy. Thank you, Trent. Appreciate your time.
Thanks, guys.
Trent Cochin, the skipper, good enough to give us a couple of minutes.
Yeah, very nice. We're going to take a break, send Robbo on over to the Swans rooms. No, we're not done yet. We've got the Macca's moment and the best on grounds, all thanks to Just for Men. Tigers too good here at Etihad Stadium to start round 15 on a Thursday night. 14-9-93 defeating the Swans 11-1-67 for McDonald's Triple M Oxford. Tigers got it done by 26 in a bruising game of footy. 14-9-93, 11-167, 26-point lead to the Ticks. A game clear on top of the AFL ladder. Today's Macca's Moment. How about it at the 14-minute mark of the opening term? Here's how we called it on Triple M Footy.
Jack Rewalt's ball inside the centre square, almost in the middle of the ground. It's slightly favouring one side. Kicks out wide, looking for Rioli. Went through the hands of Florent. Rioli grabbed it. Right foot bending banana. Miracle goal. Big goal from Rioli. Got incredible bend on the na-na. And it was exciting stuff.
It was beautifully called by BT. Rioli's goal, 26-point win. Let's go back down to Robbo, I think, drifting over towards the Swans rooms. Robbo?
I'm in the Swans room, Swatter, and they're down doing their stretching now. So they haven't gone into the room with John Longmire. But just quickly with the Tigers, Reece Conker, I know it was his 100th game. His parents are in the rooms as well. They all came to watch him. Unfortunately, broken ankle, taken to hospital. Trent Cotchin, as we've just spoken to, heavy strapping lateral side of the left knee. He's okay. Jack Graham, hyperextended left elbow, strapping on that, he's okay. And Caddy had a couple of shots in the hip, fleshy bit above the left hip, but was able to run through to the game. But in the Swannies room, Isaac Heaney, a knock in the second quarter, a head knock, failed a concussion test. He's put the tracksuit on. He was out of action, and they'll look at Flosstone's elbow. There's no official report from the umpire, but it didn't look good. I reckon he might get 1 to 2 weeks with an elbow to the head of Luke Parker. So that is the rundown of the reports. And Heaney out of action, and also they lost Conker, the Richmond side, with a broken ankle.
Well done, Robbo. Comprehensive as always. Outstanding by you. Thanks to Bob Jane T-Marts. The Triple M Best On Ground Award, thanks to Just For Men. Gets rid of grey hair in 5 easy minutes. Visit justformen.com.au to learn more. Joey?
Yeah, first of all, the apology goes to Nick Vlostone. I thought he was certainly in the votes up until he probably did elbow Luke Parker in the back of in the head, and then he went quiet after that, but he still had 22 disposals and 11 intercept possessions and a goal. He was excellent, but misses out on the votes because I give one vote to Sydney's best player, was clearly Josh Kennedy, with the 37 disposals, 23 of them contested, 9 tackles, 8 clearances. He was enormous for the Swans, so he gets 1 vote. 2 votes, we said it during the call, but he sneaks under the radar, but he's such an effective and efficient player as Kane Lambert. Ended up with the 27 disposals and 3 goals. He's just a quality player. Underrated, not anymore. And 3 votes, clearly, easiest 3 votes I've given for the year. Jack Rewalt, with probably the best game of footy I've seen him play. 23 disposals, 13 marks, 7 of them contested. He kicked 3, he missed a couple, he gave off a couple. He was unbelievable tonight.
Yep, no arguments there, Joey. 3 to Jack, 2 to Kane Lambert, 1 to Josh Kennedy. Richmond, 26-point winners, 14-9-93. Defeating Sydney 11-167. We do it all again tomorrow. The Bulldogs taking on Geelong. Mark Howard and Joey Montagna calling the action alongside of Brownie and Barry Hall. It'll be a big game of footy. Bulldogs up against the Cats. 26-point win here to the Tigers. We get round 15 kicked off. Well done, Joey, Two-Man, Brownie, BT, the boys in the back row, everybody back at the studio. 26-point Tiger win tonight to start round 15 for McDonald's. Triple M.